Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Round 3, 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗩𝗘 Platinum Pennant, Season 2, 2025. We are here at the home of the Gorillas in the jungle, taking on the Carlingford Koalas. And Matt Harris here, joined by Aaron Spears. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Brilliant, and I do believe your background is a current player in the squad, not selected today, so selected to sit next to me for Warilla.
Correct.
Well, I look forward to finding out more about you and what about the game. But look, our players are actually just finishing off their trial ends. This is my first time to Warilla. Viewers, you do know that I'm a major fan of lawn bowls. My main catchphrase at the moment is how good is lawn bowls, and I'm going to mention that a few times. But at the moment, our skippers are having a bit of a nice chat with each other. I can't wait to see about Ryan, Burnett and Corey. But we are very shortly going to go to our team lists on who is playing today. But on our live feed, you can see their viewers, Michael Anderson leading up, Craig Roberts, Travis Moran and Corey Wedlock, currently world number 2 in bowls. They're up against Matty Phillips, Rod Rucco, Shane Edwards and Ryan Burnett. Now, maybe former Scottish international or current Scottish international. The other rinks that we will talk about, but obviously not stream, will be Des Khan, Kyle Johannes, Harley McDonald and Aaron Tees, and their opposition there, Nathan Malloy, Zach Robertson, Lee Trethowan and Darren Morrison. And the final matchup, we have Jamie Mitchell, Lee Stinson, Luke Jones and Gary Kelly, and their opponents are Cameron McClure, Hemi Palmer, 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗘 and Kevin Anderson. And before I actually make it a formal apology, I'm going to do one. Zelko, I apologise for brutalising your name there, but I know him as various nicknames. But getting ready for this clash, there is a great energy, but the last time these teams met, no stranger to a team that was in the finals. The Gorillas were successful by 61-47 in round 7. Couple of player changes. We do know that Ryan's brother is not with us today, but I can't wait to see how the Koalas handle that. But yes, it was a 10-0 win back in round 7. If we look at the points table, and we don't have that slide up for you at the moment, but if you do go to the 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗙 Platinum Pennant Hub, you'll be able to see where we were and how we are after 2 rounds. And I can tell you, top 5 make the finals. After round 2, the Gorillas are in 5th, and the Koalas are currently sitting in 7th. Now, we have an extremely close Platinum Pennant competition, and thank you to 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗙 for presenting everything we know about lawn bowls. And I can tell you, Aaron, we are about to get it on in the jungle. Matt Phillips about to send the bowl. They are looking at the 3rd match in a row. Do you think any physical fatigue or more mental fatigue might have started to come in for these players as we start up at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning?
Oh, I dare say all the travelling they do and all that, so it's a bit of fatigue, but we'll see how we go.
Well, if this is the standard of what we're going to see, I'm excited. Listen, we don't need to talk about weather or wind. Of course, we're indoors. How good's this facility?
Maybe the aircon, that's about it.
But I'm a big fan of lawn bowls, as you mentioned, viewers. And good morning to you, whatever you got up to last night. And we've just seen a reply there from Michael Anderson. He was the only person I didn't get to chat to pre-match to find out a bit about him. And I might do a little bit of a search on him. But any information about young Michael?
Oh, Michael's been around for a while. He's a greenkeeper at Byron Bay.
So he's not one of the marquee players. Who are the marquee players here representing from Gorillas?
He's a marquee player.
There you go.
And Des Khan is too.
Great. Interesting to have a marquee player playing front end.
Yeah,
Most of the time you normally see skipped. Picture of concentration. Great to see our front end early on with every ball behind Jack. Bit of a contrast to our game yesterday. They were playing on a chipped green. And after speaking to the players post-match, no disrespect to the greenkeepers at the Magpies, it was a bit tracky on the hand that was closest to the ditch rink, and the players were looking a little bit bemused. And when you got a current world mixed pairs champion with very perplexed faces after delivering, they did find one hand particularly challenging. So today, viewers, we're in the indoor. Is the carpet? It's called carpet, right? Is this the surface? Have you played much on synthetic? or undercover greens, because undercover greens obviously does have the wind factor, but I've never played on a purely indoor. So do the bowlers change the bowls they're using coming here, or pretty much they use the same bowl as they would outdoor?
Oh, it really depends. I see a couple of them changing here and there, but that's only like the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗧𝗓 or the 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗗
Who've got access to a couple more sets.
Yeah.
We will, from time to time, viewers actually have a bit of a player banner, which will tell us about how old they are, how long they've been playing, and the type of bowl of choice. 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗗 is playing second for the Koalas, and his club last year was 𝗣𝗚𝗡𝗡𝗏. And he actually came as a bookend set with his third, Shane Edwards, who we'll see very shortly. On the screen, we had Craig Roberts sending his second attempt down, and he's on as well. Not a bad head to start off with.
Yeah, Matty, very good head, to be honest.
We mentioned game of inches. Today it's going to be games of millimetres, I think. Look, a lot of viewers out there saying, I've never had a chance to play on an indoor green. I've only played on a couple of purely indoor surfaces, but to take the wind out and obviously sun and all those sorts of things, got to be probably an advantage where it's a less variable you have to worry about, yes?
Yes, yeah. Or every rink's different.
And talking about that, is every rink, I believe, here is a little bit different,
Yes.
the number. Do any of the Warilla players have a preferred rink here? Well, I heard that Teasy had his rink, Corey had his rink, or is that a bit of a myth?
No, a bit of a myth. I reckon they do all good on all three rinks here.
Okay. Well, look, we are on rink 7, 8 and 9.
5, 6, 7.
So, oh, it's the other way, 5, 6, 7. There you go. I am challenged with a lot of my literacy and numeracy, and we've got a replay here of Shane's shot. Cleaned out nearly everything. And let's see how young Travis replies. Where we are positioned, viewers, we are rink side of rink 7. We are obviously closest to the player action, and pretty much we can see the heads from where we're sitting, but we're using a monitor to bring you. Obviously, you can see what we can see. 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 coming through, no hesitation, straight on, looking to run, remove the shot bowl, and has successfully done that. But early on for me, Aaron, looking for the stickers on the bowls. Can you let us know if you can read from what's going on at the moment, because you're probably a little bit more familiar with who's using what, particularly from your home team. Who's holding shot at the moment? Because very early on as Corey gets onto the mat.
Gorilla's holding 4, I believe. The closest bowl is that wing bowl by Carlingford. The blue and white one.
And that familiar technique of current world number 2, Corey Wedlock. So the players have had 30 minutes of roll-up and then a 2-end trial end. And after that, he just goes, yeah, thanks very much. So what do you think, 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗏, now, Scottish international, is he going to draw to save, or is he going to try and play a little bit more aggression again?
I believe going for...
Is he going for the jack?
Yes.
Edge. So we're not going to die wondering, I think, with 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗏. And look, when I look at the line, the speed, that bowl very rarely did it turn. So his aiming point would have probably been at that bowl to make contact on the edge and then try and clean the hole. No, because that running surface looked like if he got the right edge of that, that was going to maybe kill. But I think Corey's asked for a dream start.
Yeah, I think so. He's pretty close to his second bowl, so I think it might be 5 here.
Lovely weight. Oh, I don't think that has come through. Was that XG bowl on the left was the Koalas closest, and the count was a handful. Well, viewers, I don't think we're going to see 20 more ends of that. However, it is a Sunday morning. We did... We haven't mentioned at the moment, but I will make one reference that the Koalas on this rink probably didn't have the best lead-up preparation this morning. One of the players was caught up in a bit of traffic, so they're all human, but I'm sure the Koalas will be able to rebound from that. But look, speaking about that, have you had a situation where you've dropped a handful on the first end and thought, okay, we're awake, boys and girls, we better start to play?
Yeah, it's been like that a couple of times.
End result for you most of the time? You've got your way back into it?
Yep. It's just get your head right and just head down and don't worry about it.
Well, we see Michael Anderson, their marquee player. He's not going to relinquish any pressure. Matt Phillips, lovely reply. And viewers, totally different surface. We're on the carpet. We don't have the weather to implement us, cause any concern as we did have yesterday with the challenge. So look for a lot tighter heads. But the contest will still be very similar, just a tighter contest with the head. And Michael Anderson has found his range very quickly. And looking at the clean skin type of his bowl, when we do bring up the player slides, I think he could be playing with Greenmasters, but we'll work out what's going on. Do you know what type of bowl he bowls with?
Greenmaster Premiers.
Do we know the stamp date? Would it be 16?
I'm not 100% about that one.
We'll soon find out. That's my bowl. Yeah. And I've been offered $600-700 for my set, and they're almost close to 30 years old. But yeah, they don't make them like they used to. Although some of our other manufacturers, who we don't have a bowl sponsor, would like to test same line every time. You can tell me, viewers, who you think that is. But we've got a couple of players who are, I think, personally sponsored by a couple of bowls or by bowls companies. Positional bowl. And this is, speaking to Corey, I was surprised to hear that this rink we're streaming for the Gorillas and Koala match up for round 3. Corey's team haven't won a rink out of 2 at the moment. They've been very close. And I then spoke to Corey and Travis at the back end and said, what do you need to do? And they just said, look, we need to be a bit tidier. We just need to make sure that we're playing positional bowls a little bit more effective. Travis mentioned that the conversions need to be played, but Corey said, look, we've been good, but we just probably haven't played positional bowls to cover different results, which we know in lawn bowls, viewers, that your good fortune occurs when you reach the head. And anything is possible, Aaron, in lawn bowls. I've seen everything. And a lot of the time I go, did I just see that? There are our spectators. Had a chat to the ladies. Good on you, girls. They travel with the Warillas and Gorillas, and they're hopefully going to be a little bit vocal. They were at St John's last night watching the draw, which we will talk about where the points table is, and we will talk about what's coming up. But don't forget, viewers, we can have a look at the TAB Platinum Pennant Hub, where you can capture all the action as Rod has just tried to make a little disturbance on the head and just missed his line, but it was a good weight. But yeah, the player hub, the TAB Platinum Head Hub, I don't know how you're going in the tipping comp. I've been hopeless because I keep missing putting my tips in. The live stream matches, you can get the round fixtures and results, and you can also see team lists. And, I hope you're enjoying the Bowls New South Wales streaming. And don't forget about our socials on Insta at Bowls NSW, and on Facebook. If you just put in Bowls NSW, you'll be able to see our hot shots. We're going to have a competition about that, about picking the best hot shot, and the viewers will be able to be interactive with that. So that's something to look forward to. Here is their third, trying to make some contact, and probably just got too much of Matt's bowl. He was probably more looking for that bowl of second Craig Roberts. What were your thoughts on that? As Travis sends down his bowl.
Yeah, I reckon he was going for that. Bowl on the belly. Open it up, change it up a little bit.
Double knocker. That bowl of Craig Roberts is locked in. No surprise to see Travis Moran just bring him around the back. And viewers, we do know after 2 rounds of streaming that our camera crew have microphones on their cameras, so you can hear when there is an instruction coming from the skip. But Ryan Burnett, being Scottish, there are no subtitles. And so we will try and let you know what is he called for. And obviously he was trying to change it up. Was basically the instructions from the skip. Corey Wedlock, world number 2 in 2024. 2 times gold medalist at the World Champs Outdoor at Gold Coast in the triples and the fours. And won the 2023 National Pairs with Gary Kelly after winning the state championships. And they were the runners-up in the fours in the state championships just recently.
Yes, they were.
So we've heard a little bit of sight. We can have a look at replay there. What has just happened with that bowl of 𝗣𝗩𝗡? We do try and get those replays as best we can, but our crew have done a great job, the production team. We're working together, and I hope you're enjoying how we're presenting the content, because we've got great content. Best lawn bowls competition in the world, Aaron. I'm biased, but we've got some of the best players.
Oh, we do. We certainly do.
New South Wales, how hard are we to beat in State of Origin? Well, if you call a couple of our players from State of Origin, it depends on... Look, I like to see that players... it's where you're currently playing. A bit different to the NRL. It's where you play your first club game.
Yep.
But current New South Wales state champion, we know he's from Western Australia. He plays for Marylands, but we'll take him as a New South Wales Blue.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
Keno, actually, of all places, which is the New South Wales team. But we've got our beautiful sponsor, TAB, Platinum Pennant, round 3. Still trying to work out 𝗣𝗩𝗡's facial expressions, whether he likes it. He is looking to try and do an up and over there, and he has. One shot to the Carlingford Koalas, even though Ryan executed that shot when it did it, he shook the head. And what's a skip showing that with his body language? He's got on the mat and gone, I've got nothing in front, I've got to try and do something.
Yeah. Basically hoping for a bit of a result.
And perhaps, but also needs bowls in the head.
Exactly.
So, lawn bowls viewers, yes, it's about who gets closest, but it's theatre. It's like a game of chess. It's about all the different pieces and bowl placement on positioning, because as you can see, viewers, if there's a draw shot or an up shot or a shot with a bit more purpose, that jack can go anywhere. If the jack does go out of bounds today, and in the whole of our 11 rounds of TAB Platinum Pennant, it's a kill or it's a dead end, and we don't respot it, they replay the end. So Matt Phillips just trying to get his range. He has been far off. It's been already after 2 ends. The front end have really set the standard.
They certainly have.
Both teams up for it. You can hear through the cameraman microphones that very vocal. Sunday morning, they're awake. They've obviously had a couple of shots of coffee. Anything help you get out of bed this morning beside an alarm clock, Aaron?
Oh, my kid.
And what's the name of your kid?
Leon.
How old's Leon?
Yeah, he's 2.
Oh. So, yes, viewers, Aaron has got matchsticks opening up his eyes. He's a little bit fatigued. And the good thing is I have actually had a chance to play with Aaron against him in lawn bowls. And we tended to have pretty good banter. And look, we do know that lawn bowls is very much a little bit like cricket. Sledging is a big part of it, but with no malice. It's more about trying to put someone off, right? Like if an AFL person standing on the mark is trying to kick a goal, they got to say something, probably not about their parents, but they are trying to put them off.
Yeah, nothing personal. That's all.
Correct. And what happens on the green stays on the green. Well, viewers, we've had a toucher on the rink, and Rod with a handy bowl. At the moment, that bowl is not in the catching area because that jack doesn't have a clear run through to him, but it's still a positional bowl at the back. Aaron, I've mentioned this a couple of times in the broadcast before, rounds 1 and 2. Have you seen many jacks go forward, back up the rink?
Yes, one the other day, actually.
Doesn't happen often, but...
Last night, sorry.
Yeah, so skippers generally, if it's a positional bowl, they're not going to say, hey, finish 1 6 feet up the rink. No.
Exactly.
You can't play for that. And that's what I love about this great sport. We're looking at the technique there of Rod Rucco. He's As I said, he's come from Batto Bay and he's playing his first round, first season of CAB Platinum Pennant, and that's a good correction. Craig Roberts was a very good golfer. We just see a replay there of Rodrigo's bowl. With that weight and with that line, what do you suggest he was obviously trying to play there?
It's either try to play the jack through or get to sit the bowl. Two options there.
Happy with the weight that he played?
Yep.
Good. Shane Edwards. Otis and Taj, children, not yet teenagers. He's also the duo of the Batto Bay crew coming through. Always interesting to see how the bowl, the plan is, then in the execution. But young Travis Moran, 17 years young, how good is it with the crew backing him playing third?
Oh, it's amazing. So much young talent. And he's just going to get better.
He's from Engadine, still a school kid. His background was basketball. He was a rep basketballer, and both his parents played. He's the under-18 Nationals current singles champ. That was at Tweed. And then he goes off to the junior state champs after this. So he's got a busy agenda going through. It's great to have youngsters on show. So that 5-1 currently on ends, and 8-2 on the big board. A very tight competition at the moment after 2 rounds with only one 10-0 win. And that was yesterday's game. There have been 2 now. Okay, yesterday's game we had a 10-0, but it wasn't a true indication of the contest of the game. The 2 rinks were very close. One rink in particular was a blowout. Ryan Burnett. First time I've got to actually watch him play a fair bit of bowls, and he's a very smooth operator and very quick on the mat.
Yes.
Takes out the thinking.
There's a couple like that.
Toucher. Lands Matt Phillips' bowl. And if we had the good fortune of a camera overlooking head, we could actually see if he's holding shot. But with his bowl, I believe, still touching, that should be shot. But I'm not going to speculate. As we heard maybe on our microphones, you would have heard a loud bang. That was just... who sent that bullet down?
Harley McDonald did.
We have someone, I believe, who drives quicker than Harley, Mr. Kevin Anderson, and he's currently on rink 5, and that's a couple of rinks away from us. But I can tell you, if you hear a couple of loud bangs, but there's no sand in the ditches. Is it more like a carpet?
It's a cushion on the bottom of it. That's pretty much it. There's a carpet on the backboard.
Okay, will we see much marks on the players' bowls if they use a bit of force here? No. You have seen that on Matt Phillips' bowls. He's got the, I would say, the split colour, where he's got a couple of marks in them. I'm surprised not to see that for a lead. He's obviously coming from another game he's played where he probably hasn't wiped those scuff marks off. Yeah. All right, what is the current state of play on this head? And we will get back to that, viewers, and you're probably getting used to my commentary now. We sort of talk about theatre and everything that's going on. And it is the early part of the game, but we do know that momentum is a big part of it. Corey's on his way. I'm just trying to that maroon bowl.
I think it's the Blues shot. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and that was 1 to the Carlingford Koalas. So as we mentioned before, a handful at the start of the first end, not ideal for the Koalas, but we have seen them try and play themselves into an away game. So they're not probably as used to this surface as the home team. But are all the matches currently at Platinum played on the indoor here at Gorillas? From my memory, they have been.
Yes. Yeah, it's all been played on the indoor.
So we've got a lot of Pennant games and finals of Pennant's been played in Bowls, New South Wales. And ladies and gents, yesterday we had from 1s through to 7s and Platinum just ahead of that. But how many other greens have they got here at Warilla? Beautiful venue.
They got 2.5. They've got a 3-rink green out there, but that's out of service at the moment.
Does that get barefoot money, or is it?
Oh, they've just finished renos, so they're trying to make that into a 3-rink ring. So that's a work in progress.
Right. And just so the viewers get to know, like I'm a teacher of 30 years. I mean, I've been a commentator for 25, and my first season, you probably can tell of lawn bowls, but I love it. But, you know, there's a little bit of an adjustment to come from commentating a fun run or an ocean swim or a golf match to a game of lawn bowls, which I'm enjoying. But what's your background, mate, besides playing? What do you do when you're not doing lawn bowls?
Work.
Well, yeah, but what job do you do?
I work with Warilla and BlueScope Steel. I drive trucks, I shovel, I sweep, I do all sorts of stuff. Just general cleaning.
So your fitness look about you, you're a person that's quite active. Now, we did make mention that Craig Roberts, who's playing second, used to play footy, and he played more so in the scrum for Berkeley, and I believe that that's a similar position that you used to play.
Yeah, I used to be hooker as well.
Well, I'm just mentioning that Aaron, we actually can't see Aaron, but he's a shorter stature, very strong build, so yes, he's not going to be at the fullback. I actually thought you might be a little bit more like a halfback.
Don't have the brains for that.
Like a Reynolds, you know. Don't have the brains?
No.
Well, look, we're looking here at Craig Roberts. He used to play footy for Berkeley, and much like Razor, who we spoke to yesterday, had a knee injury and decided to take lawn bowls up. He's got 2 kids. I think it's Talia and, I'm not going to go Yarly, but Jarly it might be. But he's got 2 girls. Hello to them if they're watching the stream. Might be a little bit early, seeing that some of them are young. What time are we looking at? 11:30? Oh, they might have got up by now. Right, we're looking at round 3, TAB Platinum Pennant, Season 2. And game in hand, Wedlock versus Burnett, a 5-2, as you can see, very clear on our beautiful vision from Space Quakes Productions. Can't say that very quickly. I'll end up getting a blister on my tongue. But a lot of the time when we do our wider shot, you can see the other rinks in play, and we will make reference of that probably more so through to the middle to the end of our coverage if the big board is in play. But we are really... and if you want to follow that, go to BowlsLink and you can look at the live scorecards that our 2s, our seconds, are putting into their smartphones. But they also have to keep a manual card as well, just in case we have some technological mishaps. We are looking at Shane Edwards playing his first bowl of 2. State of play at the moment, it does look like Carlingford are holding one. That bowl... Unless actually no. It is 1 shot to the Gorillas. So when we actually look at the vision on the screen, that bowl is a bowl short, the XG bowl, that sky blue bowl. But there are still plenty of bowls to come.
Correct.
Shane. Very nice. And get some chalk. Looking at a replay there. Got the result he wanted. Flops. Toucher. Bowling play. 1 shot to the Koalas. Travis with his second bowl. Good weight. Probably just a little bit high. I'd suggest looking for the cannon onto Craig Roberts' bowl. Or maybe trying to squeeze through that gap.
Probably working off that red bowl, more likely, or Craig's bowl, either one.
Lawn bowls, viewers, very similar to snooker.
Yes.
Because you can, not that, look, I wouldn't see skippers calling many players to play blocking shots, but it does happen to try and help with positional play. But more so it's covering, whether you've got attacking mentality or a defensive mentality. Looking at who the players we've got here today, I think the majority are in attacking form of nature. Is that generally what you would think lawn bowls are more of attacking more so than defensive?
More of attack, yeah. I see that with everyone.
And we see Corey. The execution of that, he wasn't far off.
No, he's just a little bit high.
but we have world-class bowlers here. We have a Scottish international, and I didn't get a chance to ask Ryan if he's a former or current Scottish international. So viewers, if you are watching from all around the world, please let us know what you think. I'm dealing with an iPad that's not got a lot of battery, viewers, so I've got to try and work out how I'm actually going to keep in touch with you after 3 games. The technology's not the only thing getting a bit tired. Round 11s, we've got 11 rounds, and then the final. You may have picked up some conversation there with Ryan that Corey may come down the hay little middle and might try and kill this end if he doesn't change it up. So Ryan is playing with a little bit of pace. Got the wrong edge. I'm just waiting to see from third, and it is the one finger up. And Corey has declared the head. How good is lawn bowls, viewers? With one bowl, everything can change. And it's normally at the back end that it can happen. At this level, viewers, you still do see leads who have done back and front resting touches, bowl staying, but probably not so side. Bowls jack high generally don't hang around.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll call them door stoppers for the love of lawn bowls.
See everyone lick their lips at that.
So Michael Anderson, obviously a marquee player. Looking at player rosters, obviously the Gorillas had a bit of a change in from last year. Any thoughts on? You've got a good squad.
We've got a pretty solid squad. I'll give him that.
Runners up from last year. And here we go. Michael Anderson, age 52. And I can tell you the crew from Bowls New South Wales read my mind. He's using the Green Master Premiers. And he started when he was 12. I don't know what I was doing at 12, but it wasn't playing lawn bowls. I played a bit of carpet bowls. But it was normally cricket and swimming and a bit of footy. He'll be looking for a correction on his first. Matt Phillips, once again, also years playing, 20. And I haven't seen too many GTRs with his colour set. And age 33, Matty Phillips lead. Interesting thing about Taylor, they made the Green Masters. And Green Masters used to be a very popular bowl once we went after black and brown. Michael Anderson with his second bowl of 2. Correction. That's what you expect from a player quality of Michael Anderson, that 3 feet correction. Now, I did ask this of my co and guest commentators, Aaron. What do you find easier to correct on? If your first bowl's short or behind and you've got to find 2 or 3 feet, what do you find easier to correct on?
Probably behind.
3 out of 3. Every guest commentator has said the same thing. So I've done enough research. I'm of the same belief. Craig Roberts used to play footy for Berkeley. Enjoys and loves this game that we all enjoy. I find it hard to call bowls a sport, but it is a sport. So I don't want to disrespect what we're doing. And he has just played an absolute belter of a shot to tidy it up. How does Rod respond? His bowl's on his way. It's his first of his 2. Picture of concentration. I wonder how he's enjoying his 3rd round of playing the best bowls in the world here at the TAB Platinum Pennant. I'd imagine he's looking for a correction on that too.
100%. Anything behind.
So after speaking to skipper Corey Wedlock, he said he's going to focus on positional bowls very early on. So obviously they're holding 2. Does he start to go get another one in there, build the head, or obviously get it behind, as you mentioned?
Behind. Good seconds always up, as they say.
Yeah, look, for me, it was brought to me very quickly that the second, and they hide their best plays at second, and I play second. You're a shield or a dagger. So if your lead has missed it, you go in and help, and you protect with the shield, and then if it's been set up well, you can trail, sit the head, and really give it with a knife to the opposition.
Or even cover.
Yeah. You don't see too many seconds launching at a head, but it might need to do that if the goalposts are up and
if
the opposition leader said, we need to change it up.
If the skipper says so, go for it.
Yeah.
But as I said, just...
But you're not going to get, I imagine, too many skippers lose your bowl. I want to change. Maybe change it up, but don't lose your bowl, because they want to, of course, keep that in play. Because you've got your third and your skipper to obviously either save the shot for them for the glory. But I don't think there's anyone here really playing today that's all about them. It's all about the team of 12 players here. You are watching, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, boys and girls. I hope you're enjoying it. Very good morning, Sunday morning to you here on the 13th of April. Bringing to you from the home of the Gorillas here at the Jungle, between the Gorillas, Warilla Gorillas and the Carlingford Koalas, the TAB Platinum Pennant. Big board, 4 shots, 9 ends. I will talk about the current state of play in our points table, but it's extremely close competition.
Here's Matty.
Very good positional bowl there from Travis. Shane Edwards, claim to fame, won the over 40s 2 years ago. And the funny thing was, with Rod at his second, they'd done all the work together, but Rod couldn't play the final. So Shane won the over 40s with Rod, but Rod had a sub playing for him. So that's the sort of quality of players that we've got. A little bit more experienced, and that was a big claim for Shane, playing with his mate. And they came as a pair from Batto Bay. So it's interesting when you look at the back end of Platinum and then the 10 months before it, about how teams look at their roster for the next season. So only 2 seasons in, early days, Aaron, with all of that, with player names, player profiles, form, who's in good touch. Because a lot of these players, unless they were playing at the New South Wales State Championships, unless they come from the Gold Coast and playing Queensland Platinum, they probably haven't played a lot of competition bowls.
Yeah, pretty much.
So round 3, the players of this standard will be hopefully trying to play into form or play out of form.
Either, whatever you're going to look at it, like that, whatever way.
But look, it's a confidence game, right? And I'm not too sure how you play your best version, but I play my best bowls when I'm not thinking about it, and I'm just in the flow. For me, I know my role as a second. I've got to help build the head, give the back end a chance, and that's, I repeat. But I look at lawn bowls with the delivery as a goal kicker, a bit of a pre-match, pre-shot routine. We're playing a target sport. Minimise the variables, and you should be able to repeat. How about yourself?
I say that too, yeah. It's basically the same as me. That's my position, second. I like to play that position, and been playing skip for the last 4, 5 seasons, 6 seasons, and
there's a lot to manage as a skipper.
Yeah, it's.
Then Burno
It's not
just
an easy position.
No, when you look at the replay, Burno's gone, I should have had a better result with that. He didn't get what he wanted. And as you can see, Travis Moran from our footage there, 4 shots, hence the reason, the disgust of Ryan Burnett, where he was there. He just didn't get the result. Different dynamic from yesterday from Wenty Leagues. Viewers at home, it's a 15-8 score line, and after 11 ends. So when you start to drop shots like that, multiples, it does make it hard as a team game, Aaron.
Certainly does.
We've got our team managers or scoreboard attendants looking after various masterboards here live with people watching, but viewers at home. We are a 15-8 on 11 ends. As we're looking at Michael Anderson, who started extremely well, looking for another correction of a couple of feet. Matt Phillips currently holding shot for the Koalas. Another very good correction there, Aaron.
Certainly was.
And an umpire call on one of the other rinks. There's Matt Phillips. Both leads following their bowls down. Maybe they've got a drink up this end. I'm not sure. What do they say, Aaron? Holes for bowls?
Yep, they always say that, but...
And that's what I was referring to, viewers. Here we go. Craig Roberts, second. Similar age to me. I thought he looked like a good vintage. He's bowling with the Dreamline XGs. And, his NRL or rugby league career finished around about 24, as most players, if they have a couple of injuries. I'm glad he's decided to take on bowls, and he's not far away with this shot. Great weight. Great line. Shot. And a knocker. So, Aaron, I'm talking about maybe in sort of the line of the head. Front resting, back resting toucher, both effective. What do you prefer to see if you're a skipper? Here we go. Rod Rucco. Also in his 50s. 30 years playing with the Dreamlines. But, look what a great reply here. But, front resting or back resting?
Depends. Cover the jack makes it harder for the opposition, and also makes it harder for the opposition as well. You go behind the jack.
Do you like to see the jack when you're playing?
Yes,
and
I
if
do.
it's obscured, it's like, oh, where is it?
Yeah, I like to see it, but you know it's there. You know it's really close. Any touch of the bowl, it's pretty good. So preferably, yes, I like to see the jack.
Corey Wedlock applauding that bowl of Craig. And look, from the 3 rounds of coverage, positional bowls are very important at this standard. Look, if you get one shot each end, you win by 21-0. Not going to happen. Well, I never say never. You know, yesterday's coverage, or actually was on Friday night's coverage at 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡, after about 6 ends, the opposition hadn't scored on each rig, which was amazing. You don't see that. The other opponent was kept to 0, but it did change in the end, as we see Travis showing his best personation of playing third. Because I imagine at this level he probably hasn't played many games as third. He's probably played 3.
Yeah.
Obviously at a junior level, he's very dominant. But when you're playing with the current world number 2, as you skip,
You've got to be confident.
well, how good would that be? There's not too many of us get to play with the world number 2. It's on its way. Shane playing with some searching weight. Playing well, Shane. For me, he's currently been the Koalas MVP after 5 ends of a 10-2 scoreline. They're all showing up, but his bowls have just featured a little bit more as far as significance in changing things up. Positional bowl. Number 2 for Travis. Engadine school student, 17 years young. Current Australian singles champion. Now, just looking at Shane's feet placements on the mat. Aaron, are you a big player on changing where you stand on the mat to try and get a little bit of a different trajectory with your bowl, with getting around or under bowls, or you just sort of look at your line and say, this is where it's going?
No, look at my line.
Okay.
It's not my kind of style. Change my delivery up, but yeah.
And that's the beautiful nature of lawn bowls as we look at the players just changing over with the skips, getting to send theirs down. A lot of different techniques. Whatever works for you.
Exactly.
Were you coached heavily as a lawn bowler, or you sort of made it up as you went?
No, I was coached pretty heavily. Eric Johannes. My very first coach was 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗏, the current president of this club.
Okay, great.
And yeah, and I had Eric, and then I had Leif Selby.
Oh,
so
please.
I had some heavy hitters as coaches.
Mate, you should be world number 1 after that sort of pedigree, huh? What's wrong with you? Corey Wedlock, he's not far away. He's 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗡. Oh, has he done enough to bring in? It is only 1. He wanted 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗡 to probably get another 2 inches on that jack.
Would have made 3.
So Shane, I believe, has asked his skip, Burno, to just try and just get around mats or land mats. There is a shelf for him to land. Is there a wider and narrower hand here?
Yes and no. Like, all depends on the... To be honest, all depends on the heat of the atmosphere.
So that's what I wanted to ask you about, because I've been up at Raymond Terrace, and it gets the moisture and the dew, it gets quicker. And there are a lot of greenkeepers out there that when it's humid, the grass stands up, depending on its tiff or whatever the surface is, cooch. But here, so what happens is if it's humid, it becomes a little bit more moisture, it becomes a bit quicker, or is it just slow?
It comes a little bit more quicker. I find it comes quicker anyway. The colder it is, the slower it is.
So will we see a bit of a difference depending on the temperature outside over the course of today, a changing speed?
Yeah, I'm not 100% about that. I think it's more the aircon.
And you did mention the aircon, didn't you? And I sort of had a bit of a giggle.
Oh, I was being serious. Eh?
As you look at a replay here, Aaron, of Corey's shot, using other bowls to sit with one to play, and I'll come back to that talk about green speed. Having a look at that head, are we looking at a similar shot with maybe a bit 2 feet? But I don't know. He could launch this, because they do have the best back, but it's not a respot. If he kills it, it kills. But we'll soon find out.
He's only got one bowl on the head. That's the difference.
You've just made a mention. One bowl in the head, can't afford to go big. He did lose his bowl, bit of an upshot, and they peeled one out.
2.
And it is looking like perhaps 2 with... Now, it was interesting. I'm going to talk to you about team dynamics. Just watching Shane, it was actually the Gorillas wanting 2, but Shane was about to measure, and he's the opponent. If that's me as a third, you want it, you measure it. Bit of gamesmanship. Normally when I'm playing bowls and I'm playing person with a little bit more senior priority than me, but maybe they might be aged, I just go, listen, I'll measure. I don't want you to have to bend down and get back up. I'm not having a go at people's agility. But I was just interested to see that Shane was actually going to measure, and in the end, he said, yeah, okay, you've got 2. What's your thought on that? I mean, if the opponent says, no, you only got 1, well, you measure, mate, I want 2. So who actually then measures? I'm just trying to talk about what I've just seen, because I don't know if there's gamemanship there, or if it's just, Shane's a good bloke, I'll measure it.
I find if I'm going for the shot, I'll measure.
Okay.
If it's yeah, but... I'm closer to the ground than everyone else, so I usually get there and measure anyway.
Are you a bit of a fan of the magic fingers?
Oh, yes and no. I find my eyes are just as good as my fingers. So
I got no idea, so I actually go the magic fingers, which I looked on YouTube. And look, for me, I can look at a head 3 different ways and come up with 3 different options. Shot, not shot, I think it's even. But as all good tradies would say, measure twice, cut once. Mm-hmm. But look, it's great so far that we haven't got any magic finger readers out there at the moment, viewers, because we do know that someone can stand over a head for about 10 seconds and they get the tape out. But sometimes they're trying to just make sure that they have to get the tape out. But I have seen some horrendous measurers, and I can tell you, I mean, people measuring 6 inches difference. So come on, check your eyes. You maybe have to go to Specsavers. But each of their own. And look, we're all here as a community supporting a sport that we love to enjoy. And so I try and encourage all people from all walks of round. You know, we had Jimmy Reynolds playing on round 1. And we know he's the current singles New South Wales All Abilities player. So, and we also have players that play with bowling arms and sticks.
Wheelchairs.
Absolutely. So
everything.
A game for all. Well, viewers, we can tell you on the other 2 rinks, as you can see on the scoreboard, Tees is 5-3 over Morrison, but Anderson is a 5-3 over Kelly. On similar ends. And we've got a 10-shot difference on the big board at the moment, as we see Craig Roberts playing his forehand. But yeah, so just to digress back to air conditioning can be a difference. But at the time of game, 11 o'clock through to about 3, we've got a sunny day. Green speed roughly was mentioned around 14 to 15. I don't think we'd see much difference, but you might defer in your opinion?
It can slow down a fair bit. It gets down to about 12.
Okay.
That's what I've noticed, but yeah.
Okay. And while we're playing 21 ends and you're only getting 2 goes, you're probably having 7 minutes between efforts. Hard to adjust, and that's why I love 4s, particularly TAB Platinum Pennant 4s at this standard. A lot harder to do it than what you're seeing on the screen, viewers. Mm-hmm. Love seeing Travis having chats to himself. He's sent that bowl down and he's probably gone, yeah, okay, I've got another one.
And always correct.
There we are, Shane Edwards playing third. Probably one of our players who haven't played the game as long. Got the Dreamline XGs. Competitive sportsman. The ball's on its way. He's not far off here. He's actually really helping the Koalas stay in this game. Even though it's a 12-2 scoreline, and there he is, 17 years young. You know, this fella using the XGs, anyone born after the Sydney Olympics? I just shake my head and thinking, good on you. A little high. It's still a fairly positive result. He's been able to push another position all back there for the Gorillas.
As they say, you've got to be up to enjoy it.
I love that play on words, Aaron. That's one of my catchphrases. I like that. Reach for reward.
That one too.
And as commentators, believe it or not, viewers, I can be a man of few words. And I am going to switch over one of my devices to the live feed so we can sort of see what's happening. We are on a delay by about 5 to 10 seconds. So if I watch 2 monitors, I get a little bit confused. But we're looking at the changeover here. All I know is I've got to make sure that I've had my phone on silent so we don't get through and cause any problems. What's the state of play here at the moment, Aaron, as I'm a bit distracted on my device?
Ryan's played his bowl.
We did have a shot of him on the mat, but he has played his bowl.
And he's
made connection.
A little bit unlucky with that one. Made connection with the jack.
And I can imagine in his brain, the self-talk is, what do I have to do to get a shot? Because he's been fairly close. Bit of a discussion going on between the Brains Trust. We both had Craig and Travis talking to Corey. What do you think may have been spoken about there, Aaron?
Oh, well, they're looking at trying to just probably get another one in the head. Cause it looks like there's only one bowl in the head at the moment, and there's a chance of them getting both bowls out there. So I think it's another bowl in the head or trailing the jack. And he's done that.
And thank you, Tom Stanton. He is mentioning that Ryan Burnett is a former Scottish international. Thank you, sir. And we've got Vince Calabrese watching from Leppington. Hope you've had a good weekend, Vince. And at the moment, looking around about just over 600 viewers at the moment, so welcome from wherever you're from. Just get onto the chat and we will try and be a bit interactive with you. As Ryan sends his final attempt. I'd imagine he was obviously trying to go through that front gap and just missed his line. Yep. Another 1 to the Gorillas? 2. So, Aaron, you played how many seasons of bowls, approximately?
Oh, I've been playing for 23 years.
So, we have a look at the theatre of what's happening here between 3 rinks. We've got 1 or 2 shots difference between two of them. And we've obviously got the live streaming rink at this moment with 1/3 of the game down. Bit of a blowout in the score. It has been one-way traffic at the moment for the Gorillas. They haven't let them in the game. I can tell you Shane Edwards' third is... They're all doing their best. But how often do you see this scenario? 2 close, 1 blowout. More often than not?
Yeah, more often than not. It's a very, very weird game, Bowls, and it's especially Pennants and obviously Platinum League too. It's one rink blows out, the other 2 are close, but you just got to stick by and give the other boys confidence.
And trust in your ability, because you're there for a reason.
Exactly.
Trust in your process.
Yep.
And it should come. But some of those days, it's not the rub of the green, because I don't believe the rub of the green has been the difference here. It's actually been the quality of the opposition at the moment.
Correct.
Have been able to trust in their ability. There are some days when you turn up and you think, nothing has gone right and I'm going to go out and buy a lottery ticket because I reckon my luck's got to change. But, if you're in that mindset often, why play this sport? Because it is going to rely on some fortunate results. And I believe, after playing since 1985, that my good fortune's probably 51 to 49%. Although some days I get nothing. And other days I can close my eyes, throw it from behind my back, and I can get a front resting toucher.
Yeah, it's a weird game.
I can't explain it. Look, I've got 30 years of sports science behind me. Besides looking at friction, air conditioning today, taking an impact on an indoor surface. And viewers, I have spoken to a number of my bowling players who haven't had this opportunity. How easy it would be to play with no wind. Careful what you wish for. Come down here. This place, Warilla Bowls and Recreation Club, is awesome. And what a great place for this area.
It's a great complex. It's amazing.
Here we are, another viewer. Screen name 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗪𝗡. He says outdoor greens are far more inconsistent and would love to play on synthetic. He's a country New South Wales bloke here. Welcome to the stream. We are truly international, and we're in our 2nd season of producing and showing sensational content. Craig Roberts, what colour would you call his bowl? It's a greeny aqua.
Turquoise?
Okay, you got the nail right on the head there. Rod Rucco. You did mention there's about 3 ways to pronounce his name. His parents would disagree with how I'm saying it. So, viewers, we're both doing our best. We might just refer to him as Rod.
Yeah, I think so.
Why overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be complicated? The youngster, 17-year-old Travis Moran, bowls on its way. Didn't appear to like what he sent down. With no dead ends, players only getting 42 turns. That's why I don't mind a little bit of some kills. You get a bit of extra value for money. I love playing lead because you get another turn by rolling that jack. As we're looking at Shane.
Another practice end.
Yeah, Shane Edwards getting a little bit bored of seeing what I'm seeing from Shane. Very consistent, and I'm meaning that by a very much of a joke there, viewers. He has been very consistent and the most consistent player for the Koalas at the moment in round 3 here for the TAB Platinum Pennant for 2025. Travis looking for a correction. Weight was corrected, just his line. Aaron, I've made a little bit of an observation. A lot of players playing the backhand end if they're right-handers as we're going back towards the bar end of the club. Have you noticed that? Particularly front end and the first 3?
Yes, the backhand going towards the bar is quite a wider hand.
Okay.
A bit more give than that forehand.
Right. So if we have a look and make an observation, those bowls roughly about 3 feet in front. There is a brick wall in front of that.
Great Wall of China.
So the skips, we've got Corey Wedlock, as I mentioned. Started when he was 10. He's got the 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗡. Loves the Rabbitohs, but he's playing for the Gorillas today, and he's current world number 2. He's looking at a bowl to try and finish jack high, and he has taken a wider line. Pace is pretty good too. Have you got any thoughts on his technique? It's a bit of an up and over for me. He sort of doesn't stay down long.
Very quick. Bit similar to Ryan.
He's one of our true characters of the sport, the former Scottish international. Look at that bowl hook at the end.
I think Ryan's got a wider set of bowls too.
Well, we're going to find out in a moment from his player profile. Corey, a bit more interest with this. Ladies and gentlemen, Rip Snorter. What a shot. Here he is, Ryan Burnett. Taylor Ace, okay. More of an indoor bowl. I haven't seen that used before. Probably similar to a Tiger from Henselite, perhaps.
Yeah, similar.
Was that another multiple?
Yes, it was 3. 3 to the Gorillas.
Well, viewers, the onslaught continues. Aaron, I know you're a player for the Gorillas, and I'll just quickly have a quick mention of our great sponsor before I throw you this question. But are you ready for a holiday in every way with Royal Caribbean? Members, I'm going to mention this throughout the course of our coverage. As friends of Bowls New South Wales, Royal Caribbean is proud to present you with an exclusive offer. Whether you're looking for a chilled out spot, short getaway, or a long adventure to New Zealand or the South Pacific with the whole family, Royal Caribbean offers you escapes for everyone in every age group. Even better, once you unpack, all your meals, live entertainment, and most onboard activities are included, particularly the adults-only solarium. So book your cruise holiday now and get up to $100 off any existing promotions when you use the code BOWLS New South Wales. Visit the link in the bio for more information, and conditions apply. What have the Gorillas got to do? Yes, don't state the obvious. Get the bowl closer than the Gorillas, but what do you think you need to do to stop this? I haven't actually seen Ryan call them in and say, listen, pick your socks up, have a crack, because they're trying. But what can they do?
The boys aren't playing that bad, that's the thing.
Okay, so we've got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah. When you look at what's just happened, but what a shot from Matty Phillips. That's what you got to do.
Exactly, be up to it. I said, be up to enjoy it. Got to be there to enjoy it. As I said, the boys aren't playing that bad.
Their body language tells me that they're a bit flat. Someone is going to have to step up either vocally or play a shot like that where I didn't hear. I mean, obviously the other 2 rinks, the Carlingford Koalas, are focusing on their game. But for me, as a team player playing second, if I was on the other rink, I would have said, Matty, great shot, or something as a team game. I know it's hard, but the dynamic of that. But as a second, I generally do go around to other rinks and say, hey, you're playing well, keep it going. I mean, obviously not on camera, but do you have a team player like that in your team? And you did that yourself?
I do that myself. If I see the skipper there, his bowl's on the mat, and he's up the other end, I'll go there, pick up his bowl, hold the bowl for him, go, mate, you got it, let's go.
Yeah, well done. And I'd encourage that with our viewers watching at home. I mean, if you're not that person, you're a bit of an extrovert. You don't need to be an extroverted person. If you're within yourself, just come up and say, hey, just a quiet chat. Say, mate, how you going?
I was manager last night, and I went up there and picked up Corey's bowl and went, hey, keep going, mate. Good bowl.
The game was a draw. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was. It was a brilliant game.
And viewers, Bowls New South Wales probably won't be too happy with me mentioning it, but there are some alternative coverages going on at the moment. We obviously want you to focus on Bowls New South Wales, but if we're not streaming your home team, St John's TV, have a little look at that, particularly the final game. I reckon it was about 10 minutes before Gary Kelly played his final bowl. They were talking about it, and he almost pulled it off. Viewers, if you weren't a viewer of the game, it was a draw. It was a 5.5 to 4.5 to the Saints, wasn't it?
The Saints, yes.
And Gary Kelly needed to trail to pick up, stop him getting 2, and he missed it by, well, he trailed it, but it just didn't move it enough.
Yeah, he tried to get a result off some short bowls, and, weren't really that short, but they countered, tried to get a result off everything. And,
in the catching area.
Yeah, didn't come away with his luck of the green.
But if you're a fan of lawn bowls, and you've got a bit of time, particularly on a Sunday afternoon, if you haven't mowed the lawn or done a bit of cleaning. Is cleaning day Sunday for you normally? I know
Usually.
You're working as a cleaner and doing things, but around the home?
Yeah, usually. Sunday, washing, all that.
We'll get it on the big TV at home.
I'm sure my little one will like that too.
2-year-old.
Yes, he's obsessed.
Travis sending his bowl down. So at the moment, after Shane's bowl, Ryan Burnett is going to have something a bit unusual. He's actually going to be ahead when he gets on the mat. Well, Corey's still got to play a shot first, though. Shane's not far away here. He's got the trail almost. And we do know the Carlingford Koala bowls are at the back. Well, we've got a couple of people awake. Aaron, pseudo-troll, has said, just tuned in, where is Aaron Spears? Does pseudo-troll have a proper name? Or is this a fan that you don't know who's giving you a bit of love?
No idea who that is.
Wow. Hey, pseudo-troll, have you got a phone number with this? Are you married, Aaron?
Oh, I'm not married, but I have a missus.
So he's off limits. Maybe they're talking about they're a fan of your bowls.
Yeah, maybe.
Rather than how handsome you are.
Yeah.
There's a fair bit of manscaping going on. He's got a bit of ink work. Oh, no. I'm happily married too, mate, but I'm a fan. All right, let's get back to bowls. Corey wasn't able to soften the count there. So we look at the big board at 26-12. It's not gone yet as we're 1/3 through the game. Is the game gone? And I don't want to spoil our viewers' appetite for challenge and sport, but at 17-2, at 1/3 through, it's a case of minimising the damage? Or are you a little bit more of an optimist thinking, they're not out of it?
Stop the bleeding, yeah. Maybe just... They just got to be confident. That's all they got to do, and hope for the best.
Well, they're going to play for the team now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look at the big board.
If Ryan looks at, I've got a chance to pick up 5, do I play the shot or drop 1? Is he looking at big board? If his rink's gone, he's got to try and look at the big board. He's close. Wow. So, viewers, you might have picked up in the microphone, Corey was going harder up. What's he referring there to, Aaron? Was he just trying to obviously get a firmer result with a firmer hit to land that bowl?
Firmer off the bowl. Firmer off the bowl so you get to that wiggle in and sits into for shot or second shot.
So he only got a softer edge, he wanted a firmer edge.
Yeah.
And he played that. That's what he called. There was no good fortune there. It was him playing that deliberate shot. And you'll see that this end. We're looking at world number 2. One of the best bowlers in the world. I would say, arguably, the best front-end bowler in 4s that I've ever seen. But he doesn't get a chance to do that because he's always skipping.
Yeah.
But for the Jackaroos, bring on the Com Games.
Oh, yeah.
Former Scottish international. Two shots?
2.
And we mentioned what can they do. He's just said, bring the mat up, Matt Phillips.
Changing it up.
And look, I'm looking at the Gorillas at the moment. As a team of 4 players, what would you give them at the moment? Are they up to a 9 out of 10? I mean, you know their potential. I mean, you can only play sometimes as good as your opponent lets you sometimes, but are they on at the moment from what you've seen?
Yep, they're playing real well. Okay. I give them 9 out of 10. There's always room for improvement.
So they haven't had a rink win yet. Obviously, their opponents have been quality like these guys are.
Oh, they had Nathan Black on Friday, and they had, I think they had Sean Baker last night.
Okay. And Sean Baker's rink was on our live feed up against the local derby against Cabra, and that was a blockbuster of a match.
Yeah.
You know what I'd love to see as an initiative? Ranked. 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2, 3 plays 3, like in your squad. So you've got your heavyweights, not a seeding, but I mean, you could rig that by playing, well, if you think that's our third strongest side out of our 3, we're going to put your 1s against you and try and put a score on. But our live stream isn't done that, and the matches, are these done, from your knowledge, purely random on the matchups of which skipper plays which skip? Because normally in Pennants, the cards are face down, and not only are the rinks, I mean, we know that we're going to be on rinks 5, 6 and 7, but where you played. I mean, obviously here we had to sort of make mention of who was going to be on our live stream, but the opponent can be done 5 minutes before the match.
I think they've gone from the Bowls New South Wales app.
Okay.
Yeah, they've gone from that. So I think.
But normally when we're playing normal Pennants, that's how it does. You don't know who you're playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a player manager at times, as Craig Roberts just plays a positive weighted bowl. But the way the head was set up, he had to come around or land that bowl. But I know some of my skips have said, hey, listen, if you can work it, I don't want to play them, or I'd rather play him. Can't do it because of the random draw.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes combinations are more interesting than not, particularly if there's a little bit of history with the players. Here we go, Rod. Wow.
Gets past us, he's close.
He was only a foot off.
He's changed the angles up there. That's a good thing for him.
Well, a good battle here from our front end at the moment. A change of length. Craig Roberts with more of a searching pace. Landed into bowls that are anchored. One bowl, cannoned onto the other one. And you can see that that first bowler, Rod, has just gone shooting out of the head.
Yep.
A very tight cluster, as you'd expect, playing here at this beautiful home, the home of the Gorillas, here at the Jungle, watching the Gorillas versus the Koalas. Rod, has he got that extra foot? Lovely slide. Lands there for 2 shots to the Koalas. Skip Corey has asked Craig to stay with the backhand. What do you think he's looking for?
Playing for that cannon.
Okay. Pace is pretty good. Got the edge. Now, Pseudo-Troll tuning in from Canberra. Does that help from our viewers?
Yeah, doesn't help me.
Damo, mate. Ha, ha, ha. Does that ring a bell now?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've had no love, but the man with an opinion, all the way from Maitland City, DJ 𝗟𝗓𝗓 on the comments, first-time caller, long-time listener, just wanted to say g'day to my hero, and Aaron Spears. What a man.
Oh, thanks, DJ.
I'm actually going to have to work with DJ at the home at the hangar between the Jets and the Griffins. That's going to be a pretty good game. And, you know, if he didn't live where he lived and we got a little clanger coming from Travis, cleared it out, does give now Corey a bit of an option to at least...
Bit of wiggle room.
As we see that, well-paced, ditch weight, crack, gone. Thanks for coming. But, yeah, look, DJ, what a load of bowls. I've mentioned your podcast every round. I'm a big fan. I love how you're so opinionated, DJ. Apparently not good enough to play Platinum. But your co-host, Simon Little, is. And we won't mention that the Scorchers haven't won a game yet. They're 0 from 2. But they're actually going to be recording on Tuesday or Wednesday for their next podcast. So have a listen for the What a Load of Bowls. And DJ 𝗟𝗓𝗓 will be, not the host, although we'd perhaps like to steal my thunder. DJ, it's all about lawn bowls here, my friend, and I can't wait to have you side by side. But yes, I'm enjoying what a man, Aaron Spears, right here. Yeah, mate, there's not going to be enough room for both of us sitting here with the amount of love you're getting on the comments from the live feed.
Oh, loving it. Thanks, guys.
And look, being the lead commentator, I'd like to just be known as the host because, look, I've played bowls for a long time, but it's a great insight into seeing how your brain works, Aaron, because, yes, you're playing for the Gorillas, but I believe you're being very impartial, so I appreciate you giving the viewers your viewpoint of a player who's in the squad. And here we go. So, Ryan, looking to try and play as a lead.
Really close.
Drawing.
Great ball.
And he's done it. I believe before that they were one down. I'm not too sure about Shane Edwards' bowl at the back of the jack. Corey with a bit of a puzzled look. He's trying to think if his line's going to drop from there. He is close. What a shot. World number 2.
As you expect from Corey.
Rhino, and I'm not going to sing because yesterday I sang, but anything you can do, I can do better. Have a look at that, viewers. At the moment, it's a highlight reel of Corey Wedlock, but we do know that the front end are doing very well to make him look great, to set up shots like that. Well, viewers, it's a team game of 12, but we are truly treated to a lawn bowls sports star, Corey Wedlock. All the Rabbitohs now need is to tune into a bit of what Corey's having.
I agree with that.
Ryan Burnett going for the forehand. Searching weight. Looking to make connection through the gap. What a shot. Cha-ching. One to the Koalas. Another cracking shot. Sunday morning here at the Jungle. Brilliant.
It was bloody brilliant.
To quote Russell Crowe from Gladiator, are you not entertained with all the killing? Well, look, I'm not going to talk about faith because there's two things you don't talk about. The war and religion. And we're going to go through the neutral zone. Going to be like Holland or Switzerland.
Yeah.
Sit on the fence as best we can. Corey Wedlock also playing with a bit of interest. Missed his line. So, well done to the Koalas. They've gone back to back. Change of length. Similar strategy, you would believe.
Yep.
And if you look at the big picture, Tees 5, Morrison 5 on 6, Kelly 5, Anderson 6 on 8. And we did mention in our broadcast previously, Aaron, that if all three, like last night, are having a go, a 5.5, 4.5 scoreline for points is what you're going to see. But we did mention 3 games in a row. Have you ever been a part of a triple-headed game after game after game? Obviously, if you've been at state championships, you have been. And the fatigue that happens both mentally and physically?
Not Pennant, no. This is the first time for me.
There you go. But what about at state level?
State level, no, it's usually about two games a day.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I've played in a number of tournaments, and I'm not like the chopstick mafia, Franklin Fong, who plays in tournaments all over the place. And DJ, I will mention your tournament at Maitland City. They've got a pairs over Easter, over Friday and Saturday. Oh, Spearsy, you're copping it on the live stream. Jimmy, how are the Dragons going, mate?
Well,
next
2
question.
points is 2 points this week. Jimmy's a mad Dragon supporter himself, so...
Aaron, you're welcome back anytime, mate, because I've only copped one sledge, and you're copping plenty.
That's
in a good way. Here we go. Michael Anderson, looking for a correction. It's been a bit habitual for him at the moment. His first bowl's on a couple of ends now has probably been a couple of feet short, but then he's corrected. Not unusual for a lead when they're trying to get good touch to get a bowl right in the head for that to occur. A second, you've probably got a little bit more leeway with bowl a foot or two behind.
Yep.
But that's your job as a lead, to smother the jack. Rod looking perhaps maybe to plant that bowl and get that roll on through. That does tend to happen on the carpet a bit more. Bowls don't tend to anchor in unless it's anchored in by another bowl. Would you agree with that?
I agree, yes.
So to say move that bowl of Michael Anderson, if you want to move that 1 metre, you've got to hit it with 2 metres of weight. But not here.
Not here, no.
On a tiff green, perhaps. But here you almost, if you want to move it a foot, you just got to give it a foot.
Exactly.
And it tends to roll that way. Rod. Second bowl of his 2. Big shout out to anyone watching from Baddo Bay. And there his home was. last year. And I do remember seeing both Shane and Rod at the Grade 1 state pennants, which I was a part of the Mona Vale Villains at Edelong last year, where sadly we only had 11 teams from 16 zones, and it was not sectional play, it was 2 sections with first past to post. Great bowl.
Was that Edelong, wasn't it?
It was at Edelong, and they're going to be there again. But here we go, watching this. Craig Roberts with beautiful weight, with just enough to trail to his front-end partner and bring the jack to a stop just before the Carlingford koala bowl of Matt Phillips. Shane will be looking to try and rattle it a little bit. He might get a friendly... Well, there you go. Trying to look at who's got...
I think the red's got it.
Yes. I don't think it's 3, though,
no,
but it's close.
I think it's only 1.
Well, viewers, I hope you're enjoying yourself. And DJ has mentioned, based on my research on the commentary, I might have met my match in trying to get a word in. That's been very kind, DJ. Like you, the only time there's silence is when we're breathing. But, mate, look, it's my 3rd game in. I have been a bit self-critical of myself, hence the reason I'm really trying to get my guest commentator to speak more than me. But my job as the host commentator is to, not to shine the light, but to work together as a team. And what will happen, viewers, over 11 rounds, I believe I'll have a different co-commentator every match. But Aaron, 25 ends in, mate, you're doing brilliantly. First time ever doing this. You might put me out of the job, so just back it off a bit, okay?
Oh, I don't think so, mate.
And look, from our comments, how good is the Space Quake camera work? They stream our state games in Adelaide. And have a look at this. You're very kind. The $50 is in the mail. Some of the best commentary I've heard for a long time. What a great event.
Oh.
Jeez.
Make me blush.
Look, when you've got 2 passionate dudes who love the sport we're viewing and showing, you're going to get... The content's there. We're just going to talk about what we see. And perhaps not too much of what's around us. So we're going to get our focus back on the game.
I agree, yep.
We are losing ourselves, but look, there's a bit of a... I'll have a little bit of a debrief with Bowls New South Wales on Tuesday around how the coverage has gone. And viewers, we do take your input, because it's what you want to see. Burnett, with a bit of passion, calling for the edge. It's a good sider, but that bowl that he was looking for the edge is now gone.
Yes.
And you look at that reaction. I wouldn't say Ryan's had better days, but he's a bit frustrated at the moment.
Frustrated with himself.
And look, viewers, we do know that this game is a land-bound mindset. With that frustration, would you see that there's an optimum level of arousal that could either cloud what he thinks and he launches one in frustration, but he's got to settle and breathe before he gets on the mat again?
You've got to settle and breathe. You've got to go wash your face on it, go to the toilet.
And then get back to the process.
Clear your mind.
So there's Corey, when I spoke to him pre-match, looking at positional bowl. Ryan has probably not sent down this as quick, looking at contact connection. So I don't know if it was 2 down already. It's now definitely 2.
3.
So Corey's coming up to have a little bit of a little look.
Travis is called 2, maybe 3.
And then Travis has said, where can I get another shot? And this is where you can go, Corey. Corey doesn't give much away. He'd be very good at poker. Would you say that?
I'd say so.
I haven't been this close to Corey. He's probably saying very thankful. I mean, once I saw him, I gave him one as a man hug. No, I shook his hand, but security wasn't too far away. Player of his quality. Watching his body movement, he doesn't give much away. Deep in thought, his arm with the right hand's going, hurry, let go, falls in, shot. Straight out. Another multiple. So the Carlingford Koalas uprising after getting 2 in a row. Multiple. 4 shots. So, some more comments, and it is about Aaron Spears. Mate, you're taking some heat. So, pseudo-troll, and I want to find out the background about this. As much as I love hearing the smooth dulcet tones, they'd rather see you playing. Don't bring him back. Talk to me about what's going on. He's a mate of someone's.
He's a mate of mine. I know who he is.
Still going to be a current mate?
Yeah, still current mate. He's only new to bowls.
Which club does he play for?
He plays for East Canberra, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. He's from Canberra.
Yeah. He used to live in Warilla, so...
Is he still going to be on the main list at Christmas?
Oh, yeah. I love the bloke.
Oh, here we go. We're going to get a proposal. What's going on there? Matty Phillips trying to stop the onslaught, which did stop for a while. 21-5, 11 ends, 10 to go. Other inks extremely close. And at the moment, if the game was to stop, the match wouldn't be official because they've got to play a certain number of ends. But it's 2 rings to 1 to the Gorillas with our live streaming rink. And is Michael going to prove my philosophy and theory incorrect? He has not. He has corrected again and played a beautiful second bowl. So at the moment, his second bowl is playing a little bit better than his first. Being a marquee player, he obviously doesn't play here a lot. Is that any thoughts on that, Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know all about him coming down and stuff. I don't know when he came down, but yeah, he wouldn't play here much.
So I'm not surprised to see perhaps him adjusting with his second bowl. But what a bowl, Matt Phillips. You can see as a lead, he's got a lot of marks on those bowls, so I don't know how many times he practices his drive, but maybe where he when he rolls up, he tends to think maybe if they need me to step up as skip, I might be ready.
Yeah, nice running shot.
Craig Roberts, on its way. Golfer, ex-rugby league player from Berkeley. Knee blew out, brought him to bowls. Great to have him here. Tracking, home. Well, that is a better-looking head for the Gorillas. Bit of a bowl to plant. Rod's technique, he holds that bowl fairly out in front of him. Little backswing, one step, stays down nice and low, picture of concentration. Viewers, I can tell you, the Koalas are trying. Line at the moment. Is he going to get under that bowl of Craig Roberts? Okay. So, Aaron, Craig's got his second attempt. What are we thinking, 3 foot away? I think.
Yeah, 3-4 foot away. Right.
Corey was standing behind the head and he said, this is where I want you to bowl to finish.
Yeah.
So play through the head. It's on its way.
Change it up.
How's the execution?
He's very close. Very close. A little bit stiff.
So, former Scottish international has called for his second to change it up. We do have Matt Phillips bowls in the catching area. Rod's probably looking for about 3 foot away. Those XGs do have a nice finish to the jack. Probably a bit hot for that shot.
Yeah.
I didn't mind his line.
Not necessarily. I reckon that was good weight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good weight.
I was just more looking at movement of the bowl because if he hit his bowl, that jack would have ricocheted off Matt's. And then he can't control where that's going to go anyway. Unusual. Someone playing the forehand going back towards the club.
Yeah. Travis.
Shane Edwards, third for the Koalas. On the backhand, looking to play a similar shot to Rod was asked for. Got a correction. Not only have we got people being a fan of Spearsy on the live stream, but he's got People sending him wonderful comments as well, sharing him the love. Jacob Spears mentioning about the surname. Wonder if he gets Brittany as well.
Certainly do. It's the first thing they called me at my new job in BlueScope.
Mate, you can come back any time. I have definitely flown under the radar today. Shane Edwards plants it, lands it in the running area on the running surface. Four bowls to come, skippers to play. Now, Aaron, the rules of bowls, Ryan Burnett can stay at the head as a skip.
Yep.
Pretty standard, the rules of Bowls New South Wales, or the conditions of play?
I reckon that's the way it goes.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
A big brave umpire to say, hey, listen, you've got to get down there before Corey sends his bowl down. But
pretty sure they changed that rule back.
Yep. There have been numerous rule changes.
Yes.
And as no doubt you would have heard from their very informed commentary from our Bowls New South Wales team up at Warilla. Two of the commentators here, well, the only two commentators, are more about watching all the action than the actual background laws of lawn bowls.
Yeah.
So if we do need any correction there, viewers, let us know. Look at a replay there. Corey was able to change up what he saw. And the depth perception of what is happening at Spates Quakes production from our camera crew. Of course, we are sitting right in the middle of the rink. It is a bit difficult for us to tell who is holding, but I think it could be the Gorillas. But there's a bit of a satellite around that jack at the moment, as we've got Ryan Burnett bowl coming in with the Taylor Aces. Little touch. Just got the other edge of it. But where that bowler, Shane Edwards, is placed, it's very hard for him to guts that jack.
Yes.
Weight was great. You a fan of the speckles?
Yeah, I got some Optimus.
Yeah, but you'd be fluoro orange, wouldn't you? From the showboating that's been going on now.
Red and white.
Hey, Brittany? Oh, red and white.
Yes.
You're a Swans fan, are you?
The Dragons, come on.
Who are we, the red and white? Who are we? I tell you, the doggies, they're going good.
Don't get me started.
I know, but they are going good.
Who
Who let the dogs out? There we go, Corey. Home of the Rabbits. Playing the forehand. Perhaps looking to land that Ryan Burnett bowl. Looking at Craig Roberts' promotion. Jack. Fortunate result? Or played for it?
Oh, bit of a result, yes.
I imagine he wasn't looking to land that. He was more perhaps looking for that gap.
Looking for that bowl.
But you reach for reward. Now, Ryan Bennett has just left the head. Looking at the head at the moment, I'd imagine we'd have him on the forehand.
You won't be sure.
And you heard that little bang of the bowl being placed. He's not sure, but is it going to swing? Is it going to get down? And viewers, we can't see Ryan's reaction, but the hands into the face yet again. Bit stiff on that one. Viewers, for me, in the line of where the game is, I wish he made contact.
All right, would have been a interesting result.
34-21, ends 30. We have got a significant 25-5 with 9 ends to play. Teasy and Morrison in the ding-dong battle there at 8 ends at 6 all. Kelly and Anderson. A 10-7 to Anderson at the moment. Just looking at some of the comments on our stream. Corey Wedlock is in good touch. And I tend to agree with Carter Wilson. Ken probably up by most people with a house brick. Matt Phillips, picture of concentration. A lot more spectators here now after they've woken up. Very good bowling from Michael Anderson. And good positional bowl by Matt Phillips with his first one. Corey just indicating to Craig, give me a bowl a yard behind. Playing on the rink closest to the ditch. Well, it's a very kind ditch rink. Probably a little bit tighter. Trails on. Well done. Couple of feet through. Craig looking at it going, oh well. Trail, shot. Rod on the backhand. Looking to get around Matt Phillips's bowl and drop, land, good home. Well, viewers, if you are able to maybe get onto Bowls Link, and just let us know how the other matches are in. Some of you were kind enough to let us know and do some of the adding up from the smartphone live scorecards. Craig Roberts, great set. One front, one behind. Definitely with those two's got it on a string. Now Spearsy, a 25-5 shot. Scoreboard pressure's not there. So I'd imagine if you see Rod playing with a searching bowl to try and change it up. Pressure's a lot off this rink at the moment for the Gorillas, so you might see some more defensive bowling perhaps, or does Corey go right, foot on the throat?
Foot on the throat.
Okay.
Keep going. Can't
relax.
Can't relax.
But relaxing your mindset with delivery is different to, say, what we saw in the pairs game of the Bowls New South Wales men's final, where it came down to last bowl and the axe with his first bowl fell 4 metres short and then drew the ultimate.
Yeah.
But I was speaking to Axe about that yesterday, and he said, I just had all the thoughts from my his third bowl, which was, his penultimate bowl. He just had all the thoughts of, I've got the best chance to win a state pairs. I've got to do this. And all of a sudden, he's let the ball go going, oh my gosh. I came lost in my thoughts. Where with his final bowl, he just cleared everything and you saw the results. And that's what I'm talking about, the mindset. When the scoreboard pressure's not on, it's interesting, depending on when you get on the mat, what comes into your brain. Yep. Not a lot. When you're down, like Burnett, he's going, what do I do? How do I orchestrate the shot?
Think too much.
It might actually then roadblock what he's doing.
Yep.
And the harder you try, the worse the result.
Yep.
And viewers at home, you may have had that happen as well. This is where I believe Corey is putting into his team tactic of how we're going to get a rink win. Positional bowls, rather than playing too tidy.
Yep.
Shane Edwards. And guess who put a bowl at the back of the rink?
Positional bowl by Travis.
And that's the nature of the difference between a player quality of a world number 2 compared to me. Yes, I'm looking at a bowl trying to get closest to the jack, but then, okay, how do I cover? Where has it got to go? And you've got to then put yourself in the shoes of your opponent. And speaking to Carl Healy for home of the 𝗟𝗓𝗡 Bull Ants, he's got about 6 different scenarios in his head before he advises his third where he wants the bowl. Yep. Does it very quickly, but that's just something that, do you believe, is learnt, or is it just an innate nature of a good sportsman playing lawn bowls?
Probably learnt and good nature.
So having good role models, like you've had some great coaches.
Yep.
Ryan Burnett looking down at the ground, not at the bowl. Obviously gone a little bit wider on the backhand. Is it going to stay up? Well done. Is Corey looking at trying to sit that bowl? Because if he does put it in the ditch, they are holding a couple. He is close. What a shot.
What a cracker.
Now, viewers, we have been asked to record some hot shots, but currently it's going to be a Corey fest at the moment. Ryan's body language. I just can't read it at the moment.
Doesn't like it.
Look, yes, his team's down by 20. He didn't like it. We could see another multiple here.
He cut one out. It's only 2.
So, viewers, let us know what perhaps you're doing for Easter. Because we don't have any bowls next weekend, although there's lots of tournaments. What are you doing next week? I know you've got a 2-year-old, so I can see exactly what a stupid question that was loaded.
I'll be spending time with him.
What was his name again?
Leon.
Bit natured like you?
Oh, yeah. He's got his mum's good looks, so that's a good thing.
But your temperament.
Yeah, a little bit.
So is it a bit like a case of holding the mirror up sometimes?
Oh,
When the frustration comes in, there's a 2-year-old who hasn't learnt the 2-year-old rule book yet?
oh, it's frustrating, but you got to think they're only 2.
Michael Anderson. Great first up bowl. Matt Phillips. Been a good battle up front.
It has. It really has. Both of them. Tit for tat.
And then it has, I believe, been a... yes, look, we've got a couple of hot shots from Corey, but his teammates, both from lead through to third, have played exceptionally well, as you've mentioned before, a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
And it starts with the lead. Michael Anderson, picture of concentration. Someone tell him he's 22 ahead. Look at this.
That's what a good lead does. One on, one behind.
Aaron, you stole my words. Man, leave something for me, mate. He's after my job, I reckon. No more cleaning for you. Look, I'm a high school PE teacher and commentary I do full-time, viewers, believe it or not. We had one viewer mention it's TV, not radio, Richie Benno. Less is more, and I understand that. Good afternoon, Mr. Fogwell, all the way from Padstow, on the comments. So here's something you might be interested in. Maryland's East Maitland, after 48 ends, 45-43.
Ooh, close one.
So the pseudo-troll's doing a great job. A result of interest, we do know how close our competition is. The winless Bulls against the Jets, 30 all after 38 ends at the hangar.
Yeah. Different to last year.
So viewers, if you're not looking at the comments on live stream, St John's Park are down by 13 shots after 46 ends against the Giant Killers. 𝗟𝗓𝗓, current New South Wales 4 state champions. And not much of a surprise, the Scorchers, 40. The Bull ends 50 after 52 ends. So thank you very much, Pseudo Troll. Had a viewer's comment from Mark Larson that Ando is one of the best greenkeeper bowlers in the history of our game, on fire. And I look, greenkeepers do very well at this game. And we have some of the best greenkeepers in the world here.
Oh, we do.
Do you reckon there's much that the greenkeeper has to do to the carpet?
Just mark the lines out.
I'm sure they have to do a little bit more. Is there any cutting involved?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just marking the lines out. That's pretty much standard.
As Travis sends down his bowl, have you got a favourite rink here in the indoor?
Me? Rink 5.
Okay.
Rink 5.
So state of play, currently 3 shots to the Gorillas. Shane as a third gets on the mat and thinks, okay, this is a scenario I'm starting to get a bit more familiar with. All right, front end, come on, give me a little bit something. Search in weight. Positive connection. What a conversion. 3 shots. to the Koalas. Unfortunately, the Gorillas still have a few bowls left. So now it becomes a draw fest. And we know that the 17-year-old Travis Moran, being the current Nationals singles champion, goes, thank you very much.
20 seconds.
4. Hot shot right there. It was interesting seeing Ryan's reaction. I thought he was 3 up. He was 3 down. Now he's 4 down. The Scotsman's totally tricked me. He's asking this bowl to run. Shane Edwards keeping it on the green. It ain't 4 down anymore, ladies and gentlemen. 1 shot to the Gorillas.
Plenty of bowls to go.
Love the spectators here. A lot of our people here starting to hoe into a good lunch. Have you got a favourite? Is there only 1 or 2 restaurants here?
Oh, there's 3, 4. There's you got the coffee shop, you got the that's Red's Hands, and you got the main bistro, and you got the burger bar and the pizza.
All right, as we see world number 2, 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗡, got great touch. Was looking to sit the Shane Edwards bowl. Ryan Burnett, we know he needs another bowl in the head, but not too close to Shane's, because if he puts it too close to Shane, a player of Corey's ability, might go bang, bang.
I don't think so.
Rhino wants this to stay well away from his partner's bowl. Okay. Can Corey get both? Well, he's 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗡, right?
I think he's just going to play the draw.
And those decisions are made split second.
Yep. Helps a little bit.
So, Ryan Burnett playing with positive connection. Trail or bowl. Still can get a result. No damage done. Well, look, you're down by 22. Not saying he hasn't had good fortune, but if I was Ryan Burnett, I'd be saying in my head, I'm due. He hasn't been stiff by any way. It just hasn't... The shots that he's tried to execute just haven't come off exactly the way he'd like to have played them. There's only been not far off.
Not far off, yeah.
But not far off is 22 shots difference. And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
We do know that the Gorillas at the moment, viewers, are playing extremely well. But it's a fine line between being a champ or a chump. And
Very
you can
fine.
go within 24 hours, the life of a bowler, within even a match. Or the front end of the game and the back end of the game. You can go from hero to villain, can't you?
Correct.
Or the other way. Matty Phillips. He's only had the mat a couple of times. And Michael Anderson has said, hey, Matt Harris, commentator, I'll show you what I can do with my first bowl. He's corrected it on me. Oh, a little smile. He's on the mat, and his captain has just said, are you going to change it up? Play the other hand?
No.
Look, the way that Matt Phillips' bowl has finished, it could be in his line of sight.
Yeah.
And is it in his draw? I would suggest yes, but he's decided to take a higher line. The magnets are on. Crash.
Yeah. That's bowls for you.
You know what? Michael Anderson wanted to play his backhand. Corey said, stay on the same hand. Karma. Because I can tell you, the wee smile that Michael Anderson had here when he clunked into Matt Phillips' bowl, he said, you know what, I wonder if he'll have a chat to Corey on the way through.
Love to hear that chat.
Told you so. Here we go, Craig Roberts. It starts with the engine room, and the front two for Gorillas have been outstanding today.
They've been awesome. Craig Roberts has done his job pretty well.
Well, commentator's curse there, right? His weight was there Just needed to be a little bit higher with his green and he would have had connection with that Matt Phillips bowl.
As long as he's up, that's all that matters.
Correct.
Skipper's nightmare. Short bowls.
Word from our comments on YouTube. I don't think Spearsy does greenkeeping anymore.
No.
Were you ever a greenkeeper?
Yes.
How long?
5 years.
Too hard? What, post-COVID, pre-COVID? Obviously pre-COVID.
Oh, pre-COVID, yeah. When I was young, real young.
What did you like about it? Not the early mornings.
I do earlier mornings now than I did back then.
Okay. All right, we're still at the front end of our coverage here, ladies and gentlemen. 14 ends, 2/3 through, 16 shots on the big board. Still an arm wrestle between Tees and Morrison. Kelly and Anderson. Been a 2-shot margin for most of the game. Look, rink points have been important because the competition is so close. We've only had 2 matches where it's been 10-0.
Yes. It's really important, to be honest.
Unusual for Travis Moran to get on the mat and be 1 or 2 down. His conversion's been pretty good today too. And his draw shot's been great. It's on its way. Pace is good. Jack, just
Good position.
right home. So you're Shane Edwards here, Aaron.
Yes.
There are holes for bowls here. You don't want to plug them up.
No, you don't.
So where's he going to try and push his bowl? Obviously, preferably behind.
Yeah, be behind.
He's probably taking a high line as his bowl does come down. Knowing that we've got 3 bowls there behind that are the Gorillas, he'd want to be landing. Not on that. He needs to probably be another 2 feet with his next bowl.
2-3 feet through with the 2 turquoise balls there.
Yep. So Travis may be looking for the trail, or obviously try and draw shot, but he can get an edge off that. He's close.
He's real close.
I suggest had he used that bowl, he would have planted into those 2 Carlingford koala bowls in the front. Looks like we might be having another highlight reel of the Corey Wedlock show.
Maybe.
If Shane can't at least cover the back. The over 40s pairs champion from 2 years ago. And his line's a little bit tighter. Finish in front.
Still doesn't change Corey's shot.
It doesn't. Corey just walking past us in commentary. He's very relaxed, but when is he not? Have you ever seen steam come out his ears?
Oh, I have a couple times.
Does he normally throw the mat, throw the jack, throw the bowl? Does he go and have a drink? Does he grip his bowl cloth? Does he throw it in the air? He doesn't give much away.
He sometimes throws his bowl cloth in the air a little bit. Not aggressively, but... Ooh.
So, reach for reward. Obviously not the shot he wanted to execute. He did apologise, and that's the quality of the gentleman. A bit like when you get a net cord in tennis. Viewers at home, I have played against a couple of more so mud runners who are calling wicks everywhere, and that becomes a game of marbles, right? It's a different game. But it's not the way I like to play it. How about you, Teesy? I mean, sorry, you look like Aaron Tees almost. I'm giving you a compliment there.
Right.
Hopefully not. But he apologised about that.
Yeah, that's me. I'm very apologetic too when I get a wick and stuff like that. But
And we have had, ended. Look at that look. Ryan Burnett, I love how much of a character he is. You know, the emotion, the raw. He is totally different, showing what's happening with what's reaction compared to Corey.
yeah,
A little bit of a raw. Couldn't have that just stayed in. We go again. And look, last round 2, Spearsy, we had, when the end was killed, and we'll talk about this in a sec, but we've got Royal Caribbean again. If you want a holiday in every way, as Friends of Bowls New South Wales, Royal Caribbean is proud to present members with an exclusive offer It's whether you're looking for a chill-filled short getaway or a longer adventure to either New Zealand or perhaps the South Pacific with the whole family, Royal Caribbean offers escapes for everyone. Even better, you unpack once and all your main meals, live entertainment, an adults-only solarium, and most on-board activities are included. So book your cruise today, now, and, get an additional $100 off existing promotions when you use the Bowls code, Bowls New South Wales. Visit the link in the bio for more information and conditions to apply. Oh, that couple on that deck chair. Every time I look at our read-through for the Royal Caribbean, I just want to be on the boat. But I'd rather be here at the moment as we look at our front end with the Kilden. Aaron, I don't read much into this, but they decided just to keep the bowls at one end. Obviously, is there a preference of end which you would do if there was a kill and you would maybe play back towards the club or away from the club, as in from the bar?
Oh, depending what end it is, last end maybe keep up the away from the bar. Just if it's a close game, get the crowd involved.
Okay.
So on and so forth. But yeah, no preference for me.
And really impressed by our education of our viewers at home. I'm going to focus on obviously the game at hand, but I will like to engage with you. And there's a bloke called 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗏 who's also a greenkeeper. We think he can bowl too.
He goes all right.
And Susan Tees, both commentators do know more so Omar than Sheriff, as he gets referred to. World number 1 and currently playing for Marylands. But guess what? I love it, and I'm going to mention it because there's a guy, and I won't mention which club, that yells out, "Miss," when the opponent bowl's coming down. How cool's that? Look, I love characters. You're one of them, I believe. It makes the sport interesting. As we focus on the background of Craig Roberts. In NRL, he wasn't playing NRL, he was playing rugby league as a hooker for Berkeley. Father of 2 girls. Proud as punch and loving the sport that he's playing. Delivering a correction from his first and getting in the catching area. I would probably say, looking at the scoreboard, there's no surprise saying that the front end for the Gorillas have outplayed the Koalas at the moment. Not by a lot, as would be suggested on the scoreboard.
Yep.
Corey, yes, had some good fortune last end, but that's been the first time that's happened. And he apologised. And then Rhino came through and the end was killed with the jack not staying in the pit.
Yeah.
Travis using his body language. See, this is what I'm talking about. Viewers, I've mentioned this over the first 2 rounds already, where players, they don't know they're doing it, but he moved his shoulders after he played it because he knew it was a little bit high. I don't know if that's Eastern or Western philosophy, but I love seeing the players have some of those little idiosyncrasies.
Not too much.
Well, we do know that Mr. Twist does get on the mat and does go through a rigorous routine, and the harder the shot, the more the routine. But you look at cricket, Steve Smith, touches every part of his body. Steve Waugh had a red handkerchief, his lucky handkerchief that went in his pocket every time he went up to bat. As Shane Edwards gets to a good home.
Here's a good one for you. Ian Taylor.
Oh, yes.
It's the wind-up going.
And that's what sport brings out. Human nature. Travis running into the cluster there at the front. Shane quick to get on the mat. He was on the mat before that bowl even finished. Either he wants to get this game done, as you get a 28-5 scoreline, get me off the live stream, or he's just really keen and into his business. He's following his bowl. Has it got enough? No. We have been spoken to with our commentary to keep it positive. So we do try and look at the big gorilla there. The photo, the image. Have you ever given that thing a big hug or had a selfie with the big gorilla?
Oh, yeah, me and the little one, yeah.
There are the other ones.
Yeah, the other three.
Have they got names? I'm sure there's names.
Gus, the one on the...
The one on the right was Gus?
Gus, and the other one's Gladstone.
Gus and Gladstone, the mascots of the Warilla Gorillas. Now, tell me, do they have to be carried by any of the players?
Usually the manager and the reserve.
What used to happen, the youngest player, when I was playing footy, would have to take the mascot. And that was just sucked in.
Yeah.
And sometimes these mascots can be cruel. Is what they look like. We've got quality all over the bowling gear green at the moment. And I would perhaps say 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗚𝗏's had an end off.
He did. He certainly did.
He's human. Can the Koalas convert on a skipper who just didn't arrive in one end out of 14? Ryan Burnett.
Very close.
Lovely shot. Here it comes.
3.
That does help on the big board. It does bring the Koalas into 31. Warilla 46. And Matt Phillips has brought the mat up even further. Your summation, Aaron, asking you on the spot, we're 2/3 through. What generally has been the length played by the Gorillas? 2/3?
Probably that medium, medium legs.
Where the Koalas, let's go short.
Let's go short.
We haven't had a T to T yet.
No, I don't think so. I dare say that's a very handy, very hard to play length. T to T is pretty difficult, but
I enjoy it if you're in a rhythm.
You see some teams there take advantage of it. They T to T and they just...
They might look at the extremes.
Yeah. Minimum
to maximum.
Yep.
Well, opening bowl for Matt Phillips. Great start. They want to go back-to-back. And Michael Anderson back to where I was suggesting he was playing. A couple of feet short, correcting. Matt Phillips looking at trying to give a head start for the Koalas. And what a great set of bowls. Matt Phillips unfortunately left the jack out. He would have liked to have tucked that around. Michael Phillips on the forehand, closest to the commentary position. Picture of concentration, the marquee player. He's not far away. Thank you very much.
He's got to draw the shot, mate. You do have that.
In the context of the game, and look at that, the right hand. Happy chappy, 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗚𝗏. Yes, Michael. Execution, brilliant. Over to the seconds. Rod. Slightly overplayed. But in the context of the game, we've got 20 shots still. Big board 15. Matt Phillips has gone bang, bang. But I mentioned that the jack was out there. Execution, a couple of feet through. I love that battle up front when I see that.
That's good. It's a real good battle. I admit that.
And as a front-end player too, that gets me up, ready.
Yeah.
Craig Roberts with a good reply in catching area.
Easy.
Rod from the Koalas. Picture of concentration. Watching Rod's delivery, pretty much similar to everything he's done. Repetition, target sport.
Consistency.
Yeah. Corey is that relaxed. He's sitting on the bank. We need to get that man a chair. He'd have his own chair for sure, wouldn't he?
Oh, I don't think so.
A lazy boy, perhaps?
Oh, it's up there, is it?
Craig Roberts. Lovely weight. Great home. Minimise the target. Ryan speaking to his third, trying to use some bowls just to change it up. On the backhand. I like how he stayed down then because at least with his second, well, if he had a second bowl, he could actually... Just trying to see... He does have a second bowl. Just try and see his line and how he can correct. But he has changed it up.
Yep.
So now he has to reset. I couldn't see his second bowl, but it was being held by his second, as all good seconds are, team players.
Yep.
Now, under 18 national champion. Wow, what a shot. I know he's going to the New South Wales Juniors next week. Heaven help who he's playing, because he's on.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
I can see a state championship, not to put the mocker on him in the singles. As we see a replay of Michael Anderson. The head's changed a couple of times since then, viewers. Shane on the forehand. We've got 2 seconds. Now, Travis here would perhaps imagine look for a foot past the jack. We've just had a, as Travis, that is a great set. He's trailed, taken the shot. And covered. And given his skipper an armchair to play a shot.
And given the opponents nothing at all. Very little anyway.
But yeah, Dasbo 99 on the stream has just said you need to mic up a player. That will happen. We have got mics on our cameras where they do pick up a significant audio of the players. And Ryan Burnett, effective shot, a trick shot. That's the triple touch. And great placement from our second, Rod. And Spearsy, you might mention any bowl behind is in play.
Yep.
And hence...
Not going to go to waste.
We've just seen it. 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗘. Mighty effort with his first. Protecting that big board. You're going to get a shot from us. We're not going to give you more than one.
Yep.
So, as a skipper, try and put yourself into Ryan's shoes here. He's obviously got to get second shot, but he doesn't want to leave one out hanging to give Corey a chance to plant a bowl. Where do you think he's going to place this? Obviously, he's going to try and maybe get second.
Oh, he'll be on the line, somewhere close in the area. So he gives him a shot. Doesn't give Corey a shot at making a multiple. But he's just gone a little bit too heavy.
He had to give himself a chance. What was that comment from the big man? Did you hear him? It was in Scottish.
Yeah, you're welcome to come and step in my shoes at the moment.
I told you it's a character. Would you like to be in your shoes at the moment?
I don't think so.
20 shots down?
No.
Playing against the world number 2?
I don't think so.
𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗗, 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗡. Current runner-up in the 4s at the New South Wales Championships at Ballina. So, Spearsy, they're on a run. 2 ends out of 2 for the Koalas. They're going to get to double figures. And Teasy put the pedal down, a 4-shot difference on that middle rink. But Anderson, 4 shots ahead at 15. State of play at the moment, 20 shots different after 42. We've got 1/3 of the game to play. Thoughts overall so far?
Well,
Gorillas are going pretty
Gorilla's
good.
going good, but just the boys on ring 7's got to fight back. That's all they
So
gotta do.
tell me, being a commentator, Brittany, how do you crack the side? Do they need to implode and maybe come off another loss? Or you don't want that? You want them to do the best and maybe come back and help me co-commentate?
No,
I know you'd love to be out there, right?
I want them to. I'm happy to just be in the squad.
As much time here getting splinters out of your backside.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm happy to help. However, even if it's the scoreboard or commentate or get the boys drinks, I don't mind.
Tell me, in the Gorillas, you have privilege to the locker room. Not that there's really one here, there is. Who's generally the player, besides your bowls coordinator? Is it Gary Kelly, who's up and talking and vocal amongst the 12?
Yeah, he's basically the one doing it all. He's very good, and he does a good job too. Gets the boys going, fires everyone up.
Is there any truth to the rumour to his weight loss, that he took a major cut in pay and he can't afford to buy food?
I don't think so.
I was speaking to him pre-match, right, and I'm a sports scientist, and look, ladies and gentlemen, the dead honest truth is he's committed. He basically said, one day I'm going to have a crack. I'm not happy about being the size I am. Mate, he's close to 50 kgs off.
Yeah.
Sensational.
One of the boys put a 12-pack of Krispy Kremes in front of him yesterday.
I heard.
Yeah, and they...
He didn't blink. He didn't even crack into a sweat.
He could smell it, and he goes, "Get him away from me." No.
Look, we know, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of hidden sugars are in food, right? So he's really watching what he eats. He's drinking 5 litres of water a day. I wouldn't say go out and do exactly what he's doing, but he's happy, he's laughing, he's nice and chilled. And why wouldn't you be? You're 19 shots ahead on the big board with a third of the end to go. You can't switch off, as they won't. Cracking shot. Craig Roberts trying to bring out his own hot shot. Matty Phillips has gone bang, bang. And Craig Roberts has said, well, thank you very much for putting the goalpost up. I'm an ex-rugby league player. I don't know if he was the goal kicker or hooker, but he's got the bowl straight between the posts.
Yep.
But look, viewers, a viewpoint for me when I've got co-commentators is we're going to talk about bowls and looking at that lovely shot from reply from Rod. But we're hoping to bring you a perspective on bowls in general and just talking about the team dynamic, because I think that does add another element to it when we're looking at maybe an Australian Open or a BPL. We've got 12 players, and round 3, there's still a number to go, but the competition's extremely close, so it's about camaraderie, and we're going to try and share that. And Craig Roberts, what a bowl! Got the crowd up, and also on the other rink, something happened. I didn't see it. Harley McDonald perhaps played an absolute belter. Shane Edwards on the mat. And at 42 ends, I do find in Pennant, this is when the moving's happening. It either goes one way or the other.
Yep.
So I'm up a bit. I have a couple of hairs on my back. I'm not going to take my shirt off, but they're standing up at the moment. Not as handsome as you, Brittany, but, you know. Apologies, I've become very close with Spearsy. That's why I'm calling him Brittany now. Travis, he had the open hand. Look at this. He's got the hand open. Drop. What's he trying to indicate there? Stay up. Great home.
Great ball. Great ball.
Well, viewers, no doubt on our camera microphones, you can hear the energy has picked up. Here at the Jungle, Warilla Bowls and Recreation Club, is that the correct full title?
Correct.
I like the Jungle.
Yeah, the Jungle sounds good.
And the mascot's brilliant.
Gus and Gladstone. And,
holding up the scoreboard, by the way. Who's your side manager over there?
Side manager? What?
Or whoever's doing the scoreboard.
Chris Cusack.
Okay.
Our
Can play.
Vice President.
There you go. Bowl on its way. Travis, correction. In for 2. Have a look at this, viewers, on the replay. Corey just looking at this going, yeah, pretty standard. That's why I put a 17-year-old as my third.
It's pretty handy.
Gary Kelly, not really with the Thunderbolt. I did have a little look here on 2 rinks across. So, viewers, Ryan Burnett comes up to us and says, imagine being me. He's sending a searching bowl. Just looking at the placement of those shorter bowls there, Spearsy, does he almost have to go quicker? Because he obviously needs to be more direct. But to get under...
No, I reckon that's the right weight he's playing.
Okay. Corey's doing the moonwalk as he walks back from the ring. Does he do that often? Does he normally see the shot, turn around and walk? Or sometimes he walks backwards thinking about what he's going to play? Because he's obviously trying to visualise it.
Just visualise, that's what he does. That's what he's doing.
Okay. Interesting weight. Looking for a change-up, perhaps? Or to sit?
A split, I think.
What a split, okay. Thought it was Disco on the mat there for the moment. He was not blinking, you miss him. It's on its way, it's closer, it's tighter. Something. What an effort. No change. Well, we're only one down anyway.
Yes.
But it looks good. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you reckon, viewers? Split? I would almost say the double split. Corey's bowl's on its way. You take a breath and then 3 bowls have been delivered.
Yeah, they're quick on the mat. Tell you that now.
Well, viewers, we're at N16. If you blink, you're going to miss our broadcast on the stream. I might have a chat to our Space Quakes production crew. Our next rink across is 4 ends behind us. Viewers, would you like to see, post this, the match-up between Morrison and Tees? Kevin Anderson has just hit the jack that's almost hit us. He's 3 rinks across. Someone get me a helmet, please.
Chico almost got his head taken off by the jack.
Back to the live streaming rink. Anderson.
Brilliant start.
It is. You know, an observation which I'm trying to look at 1,000 things at once as a commentator. My eyes are just taking everything in. Playing away from the bar end, and I don't know, they got a bar. Is there a certain end here, what it's called? The bar end and the non-bar end?
No, not really. Just the east-west. That's what we usually call it.
Okay. But Michael playing back towards the bar end, because I don't know which one's east and west. We can't see the sun. He's been a little bit more consistent with his length, playing away from where people are getting their food and drinks and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's downhill, though. I played on some greens, what I think it is.
Oh, yeah, you'd think, but it's all up in your mind.
So, thank you, 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗡𝗍𝗓𝗔𝗡𝗏. You're watching, but where are you watching from? As we look at Matty Phillips. Ding-dong battle up front. It continues. Has he managed to draw the shot?
Great bowl. Good second bowl.
It is a good second bowl. Good correction on his first. But, yeah, a little cheeky punt. We've got the TAB. You know, you're obviously responsible gambling, of course.
Of course.
But we're Aussie. I'll punt on anything. Within my limits, of course.
Exactly.
Good follow-up there, bowl by Craig. But we're seeing that reply right now. Better position of the head following that bowl.
It is.
Tuck the jack away a little bit. Rod's probably still looking to land either the shot bowl of Michael or he does get the running surface of Matt Phillips. Probably needs another 2 foot of weight there.
Yep.
Good morning. I should say good afternoon. Talia Kennedy. I think playing for East Maitland. Talia's one of our New South Wales juniors. And she's want to see if there's any post-match interview. There will be, Talia, and it will be a chat to, obviously, the skips. We might need to get the subtitles for Berno, but like me as a critic of my commentary, I need to slow down just a little bit how I speak. But with Berno, we'll see what we can do. But any time I can chat to a world number 2, if we were at Marylands, I'd be speaking to the world number 1. Teesy's in the top couple there too, isn't he?
I don't think so. I think he's like 3.
Sport for choice. Right, viewers, talk about sport for choice. And just speaking to Talia on the live feed, have you played many games with or against Travis in mixed pairs, Talia? Or perhaps you're maybe going down for the state championships as well. Lovely shot. Building the head. So, viewers, my prayers have been answered. Space Quakes Productions have said, Matt, you want it, we'll do it. Shane Edwards just trying to make a change up to the head. But we are going to stream the middle rink. It will take a little bit of time. But I'm on working on a Sunday, mate. I want to get paid overtime. Not that happens that way. But I'm a big fan of bowls, as you are. So any coverage of bowls coverage with Space Quake production involved, the better. I think they've got the Adelaide Masters coming up, by the way, too, in the singles, which they're part of that production, where you have to be a major champion of a singles play. And I do believe that Warilla Corey, I think, might have won that last year. It was close anyway, but anyone watching from Adelaide, can you let us know perhaps who was the champion there? I can press a couple of buttons, but I won't worry about that yet at the moment. Okay, as we look at Shane Edwards bringing his second of his 2 bowls. 𝗟𝗓𝗡 on the live feed commentary played Junior South Pacific pairs with him and came equal third. And 𝗟𝗓𝗡 is already down at Merimbula having a roll. Did you get to play any state junior championships?
Yeah, just played state singles, all that. And
I didn't see you in the results, so you obviously made up the numbers, did you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I tell you, 𝗟𝗓𝗡 used to play for the Pittwater Pelicans, but she's a New South Wales softballer. But the Pelicans decided not to put her in their top side. She said, thank you very much. I'm going to head home to Maitland, East Maitland. More bowls, woohoo, pseudo-troll, well done. And 𝗥𝗢𝗩𝗘 from Point Broughton is watching and did mention that for her own viewpoint, finding this game a little bit more entertaining, particularly with the character, with Burno. Landing, planting, where is the jack going to end? And the hand in the face again. If we can get a shot of Ryan Burnett. The hands are folded. He's not happy. I can't laugh, but the fella... Oh, man. He's just looked over to us and given us a knowing wink. Now, I'm having a look around. I reckon there could be a significant dart competition starting soon. Have you played darts here?
No.
There's about 1,000 dartboards behind us.
It's not my forte, sorry.
I tell you, there's a couple of people that'd like to have your photo up on the bullseye. They'd get a couple.
Oh, I bet.
I'd be throwing an axe.
Oh, I would too.
Oh, viewers, look, I hope you're having a good time. And yes, 𝗟𝗓𝗡, go the Griffins. So here we go. Our viewers are very intelligent. I don't know how good looking they are, but Tim Miller has suggested the Adelaide Masters is on next weekend. And the reason I'm reading it out, because some of our viewers haven't got the comments up. Next Sunday, and the finals on Monday. Pretty sure Mitch Sidebottom was Corey's victim from the 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗏 final from memory. Thank you very much. And have you been down to Merimbula?
Yes.
The undercovers are brilliant. My wife thought we were going for a beautiful holiday down the south coast. And she said, you got your bowls in the car? I said, that is a silly question.
Of course.
I actually had to book in some roll-up times. And I didn't mind being stung $10 for the roll-up just quietly. But any bowls clubs out there, if you're listening, and if I have a Bowls New South Wales membership and I turn up to your club, I'm not offended if you ask me to pay some money, but if you come to my club at DY or my previous club at Mona Vale, we don't charge you a cent. Look, some clubs, we're struggling with a leaky roof. The Seagulls have come and helped us out. But I like a reciprocal rights to say, listen, I'm going to come. I want you to play. Money's tight for most people these days, as we see Matt trying to correct on his. But what do you do if you come on the carpet here? I know they'll probably say, hey, listen, you've got to book a spot to come in and play.
Yeah, well, you can. If there's no bookings, you just pay $6 and jump on.
Okay. Look, there is maintenance involved in all those sorts of things. So whatever your club does... So we're looking at Craig, but I'm just having a giggle with some of the best bowls to watch is with your mates, and I love it. But Warren and Ryan Burnett, if it wasn't for his bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. He's not Irish, he's Scottish.
Bloody.
You know Wazza, do you?
Oh, yeah.
And Boss War Eagles watching all the way from Louisiana in the USA.
Yeah, right.
It's my late evening. Hello and all enjoying my late evening from Louisiana. Okay, Timmy Miller, he's corrected us. Gary Kelly won the Masters last year. Well, I haven't seen Gary Kelly today. There's a lookalike out there on the rink. He's about 50 kilos shy of what he was. Still brings some quality bowls, though.
He's still playing well. Still playing well.
And look, looking at the state of play, viewers, we've got a 20-shot difference on this rink. So I'm making no apologies that we're not talking shot for shot here, Spearsy. We could be, but we're giving what the viewers want. They're watching what's happening. We can talk about what's happening, but there's also a lot more to bowls than just watching what we're doing, yeah?
Exactly.
So anyway, so that's the flavour that I'm going at the moment. After 3 rounds, viewers, if you want me to talk shot for shot, like last night's match, that was on the St John's TV, we'll bring that. But right now, at the moment, it's the 54 to 35 at 47 ends. So the overall win has gone. It's now looking at what margin? After 3 rounds, do you imagine, say, the Carlingford Koalas, who will probably be 1 from 3, will go back and say, hey, we've got Easter, and then the Anzac weekend, we're playing 2 matches. Would there be much discussion and perhaps around player movement to see what their options are? Or do we change a lead to a third or a second to a third?
I wouldn't say that, but it depends on what they're thinking, though. If they want a serious chance...
So I'm asking you, they're 1 and 3.
Yeah.
There's only 11 rounds. They want to finish in the top 5, or do we go, yeah, season 2, pretty good, or do they go, you know, let's see if we can maybe change up a combination? But does that generally come from the skippers, if it was to happen? Or they do nothing?
They do nothing. I can leave it as is.
Okay, no problem. Travis showing his ray of shots, spreading the head all over the place. As we see in the replay, front end, 3 bowls. And Spearsy, I saw Travis's bowl come through after it landed on the first one. I like that shot. Is there a particular word that shot's called? It's not the cannon, but you know when you bowl and your bowl keeps rolling through and then sits the run-on shot.
Yeah.
I like that one. I don't get to play it as a second much, but Travis probably trying to play that to good use.
Yeah.
Corey looking quite relaxed. Rhino. He could do anything. Well, 1:30. What's your go-do for lunch from here, mate? Young burger, pizza?
Yeah, probably a burger.
Salad?
Burger. Maybe a salad. We'll see. See what I feel like.
Well, viewers, I'm going to talk about the points table prior to round 3. And you can go to the TAB Platinum Pennant Hub as Corey comes through and creates another. No surprise to see, quick on the mat, positive weight. There's nothing drawing about what's going on with Ryan Burnett's shot. Couple of yards through. A good sider?
Good cider.
Do you imagine following Corey's bowl?
Sets it up.
He doesn't have a lot behind, unfortunately, to be a little bit creative with the weight that he's using.
He can't play too much.
Is that a deliberate bowl by Corey to try and get in his eye?
Not that short. No.
I'm trying to be kind here. We've been asked to be positive here, Spearsy. Ryan Burnett not giving much away. Coming in hot. 2 out.
Measure for 3.
Travis having a look around. And as Shane should do, don't get on the hand and knee, mate. Give it to your younger opponent and say, you want it, you measure it.
3.
3 shots. And yes, Talia, from our comments on the live feed, I am at DY with Sheppo. We were fortunate enough to get the Grade 2 Metro Northeast flag. We're heading off to Nowra, of all places, for the state finals at the end of June. You should have listened to me, Talia. I would love to have had you at DY with me and Sheppo. Maybe next year, but if Bodge has anything to say about it, he'll keep you at East Maitland for a very long time. Talia Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen, one of our players of the future. New South Wales softballer, but Spearsy, I've spoken to a number of the players in 3 rounds. Normally a lot of them have another sport they've been brilliant at. Yep. A couple of golfers. Do you imagine, as we see Anderson bowling a very nice, significant bowl there in good position, what's the best background if you're not a lawn bowler? I suggest golfers. Because it's like putting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Golf. It's very similar in some aspects of the game. So, yeah, golf.
And Dasbo99 on the live feed, Travis dropping with the little 3 bombs emojis. We have got a couple, and I'm not sure if we have. Yes, we've got one of his numerous bombs as a suggested hotshot. Now, viewers, you might be able to let us know what you'd like to see as the best end. Have you got a thought maybe at the moment? It's a bit confusing, the best end option.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but...
Because what happens is we then show the viewers all 8 shots and perhaps why that constitute the best end. Now, my thought from the first best end from round 1 was when it was played and the nature of the game and in relation to the big board. Or do we look at what was the most spectacular? Jacks flying everywhere. So viewers, we're looking at best end, and you will have very shortly option for comments for hot shots. What were you applauding there off camera? Because people can't see you applauding, Spearsy, but what happened there? Was on the middle ring?
Yes, middle ring.
And who were you giving some love to?
The Warilla Gorillas. They just picked up a 5.
Okay. So our rink that we're thinking about going to stream has now blown out to a 9-shot difference. But look, viewers, difference on big board, we still want to see the best of the best.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But the Anderson-Kelly game, 8 shots difference there. Rod, second for the Koalas, with his first bowl of 2. But looking at the Master Ladder, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, you can look it up on the TAB Platinum Pennant Hub, where you can see the tipping competition, which I haven't tipped 2 out of 3 rounds. I've missed out because I keep thinking of the stream time of the game that I'm commentating, so I don't have any tips for you this round, which we might talk about post-Easter. Live stream matches, round fixtures and results, and team lists. I can tell you the live stream matches, Spacequake Sports, I was a big fan of watching the ABC, as we see a great bowl there from Craig Roberts. And the Spacequakes production crew continually bringing new viewers the best quality bowls production in the world. And we are looking at the finals for the TAB Platinum Pennants at Cabra Bowls on the 30th and 31st of March. So let's see who's going to be able to qualify as we're looking at another replay. It's been a game of quality, perhaps not on the scoreboard though. Reflected that way,
yeah, reflected that way, but...
And this is what you're looking at. The best bowlers in the world, bringing to you one of the best competition in the world.
You want to try and chill yourself off, mate?
Who says bowl's a dying game? It's not. Yeah, our numbers are changing and our demographics are changing. Got a lot of people playing barefoot. But I believe once you're hooked playing lawn bowls, you're a fan like us too.
Well, that's where it comes from nowadays. People playing barefoot bowls and they actually like it. And they're like, yeah, I'd like to play that more permanently.
It's just the length of the game. So we do have shortened versions of it. Are you a bit of a sets fan? Or do you like the traditional, let's play to 25 or ground it out over 21 over 3 or 4 hours?
Oh, I don't mind sets play. Yeah, but I rather 21 ends and stuff like that, pennants and stuff.
Now, to see that on a replay, I don't think you could walk up and get a bowl through there.
Yeah.
Close, written all over it, looking for the jack or Matt Phillips's bowl. If he gets connection of that jack, it kills. Does Shane Edwards look for a change-up with the goalpost up? He does have a catching bowl there from his second rod. I'm hoping he reaches and changes the jack up. He's been asked for it. Slide. Doesn't change the shot for Corey. Nice to see that, viewers. We just saw that on the screen. Rod the second for Carlingford Koalas went up and Corey asked for his autograph. Didn't happen, but he gave him a high five.
Close enough.
I would. Corey, searching weight. Something. Plant. 3 down. He's got 1 to come, though. So, Spearsy, here comes your expertise. Where does Ryan put his first bowl? He can't land Shane Edwards' bowl because he rolls the jack over. There is the bowl from Craig Roberts waiting. Does Corey go heavy again? So, as a skip, we'll soon find out. He's on the forehand. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I reckon he's probably searching back. He's looking to go back towards where
to cover Craig Roberts'
yes.
bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And yet...
Yeah, he's drawn another.
Has that changed? How many shots? I think it could still be 3, maybe 2. Have you seen any indication from the thirds?
Only 2.
Ryan Burnett does have a bullet to come. Corey on the mat, gets on, sends it. Ditch weight, but not destroying weight. Nice line. Wow.
Got a good result out of that.
Yeah, that is good fortune, but you can't say that's lucky. I don't believe that's luck. That is just played for, and he's got a very good result. The ending of the jack, the weight that he played, the jack could have sprung anywhere. That's probably the luck factor.
It's the result.
But it's a great result, and as a world number 2, you do that enough, you can't say he's that lucky all the time.
Yep.
Ryan Burnett sending a bowl, not with pace, looking for the jack. Strikes it, likes it, gets the result. 1 shot, Carlingford Koalas. There was a great window there, wasn't there?
There was. It was.
He had an alleyway.
Pretty juicy.
The corridor. And with that shot, have we reached double figures for the Koalas? Look, when you're getting drilled by 22 shots at 32-9, first point of call is obviously try and help the team get to double figures.
Watch the big board.
Have you ever been a part of a game, viewers, and perhaps you, Speezy, where you've been on 0 for quite some time and the nudie runs perhaps on?
Oh, yeah, once or twice, but, you know, comes with the game, I guess.
Thank you, Pseudo Troll. Maryland's 59, East Maitland Griffins 53. So I might say that the Maryland Magic have continued their unbeaten run and are on the top of the table with 3 from 3. And looking at a margin of 6, they now have a plus margin of 28 out of 3. And I don't know if that was a 9-1 or an 8-2. But that does give them a little bit of buffer. Of course, that was the top of the table clash. If you look at round 2, we did have Maryland's Magic playing East Maitland, and East Maitland were in second. So 1 plays 2, and we get a 6-shot difference on the big board. So well done to the Maryland's Magic. Just seen Michael Anderson play a weighted shot to try and split the 2 bowls of Matthew Phillips. Almost got away with it. Currently 2 shots to the Koalas. Rod with his first of 2. I'm not surprised to see him go closer to the bank. We have got the jack on the tee. Would you say this end is the short end, but it's not minimum distance?
No, it's not.
It's about a couple of metres off that. Craig Roberts going for the backhand, asking the bowl to settle. Still a good home. So yes, prior to round 3, we had the Magic and the East Maitland Griffins, both undefeated. Maryland Magic go on with 3-0. The Engadine Cougars, the Cabramatta Bull Ants, also undefeated, on 18 points each, with similar margins. And the live stream game, the Gorillas, with a narrow... Well, it was a draw. They had a win. They are currently sitting in 5th spot. Following this result, I believe they will move to 4th or 3rd on the table after 3 rounds.
Yep.
You can look at that, ladies and gentlemen, on the TAB Platinum Pennant Hub for Season 2. And you can watch everything from the tipping competition to the live stream matches with our Spacequake Sports team, the round fixtures and results, and, of course, team lists. We're going to have a bit of break over Easter. I'm going to refresh, regroup and recharge and have a little look at where we can make improvements. It has been suggested we want to try and mic up some of the players. But our cameras do pick up a fair bit of commentary and noise from the green. Travis Moran. Searching bowl, good home. Was trying to look for the trail or the bowl sit. He's got another one. Shane Edwards, our over 40s, New South Wales pairs champion from 2 years ago. Played at Baddo Bay with Rod, his second. Now in the big time in the Platinum. Did start the game really well. Good positional bowls. 63-40 with 8 ends to play on the big board. But on our live stream game, only up and back. What a bowl. What a shot. Great touch.
Very good touch.
No stranger to the reason why he's the current under-18 national singles champion. Plays the 2-game version very well too.
He does.
And they're off to the state champs down at Warilla. Pity help who he's playing.
Well, he's playing lead 2 in our zone side, so he plays everywhere.
Wow. What region are you from?
Illawarra, zone 16.
Illawarra. Burnett. And it has not killed. Let's have a look. They are 1 down, the Gorillas. Wedlock with 2 to play. Blinking, you're missing, viewers. He is a very quick player on the mat, just quietly.
Oh, he is.
For me, a lot of players, I'm going to talk about quick players, both the skips here, takes the thinking out of it, more about feel, yes?
Yep, pretty much.
Less time to sort of overthink.
He knows what he's on, he can get on the mat and just play it.
And gets into the mechanics of it. What did he say then?
Oh, watch your feet, it's very heavy.
So glad I brought you along today. Corey, looking at it, doesn't give much away. Looking at the rotation of that bowl, I don't believe he's managed to get the shot. Is it enough?
Enough for shot.
And it is. Travis with the one finger going skyward.
Yep. The ends are ticking over.
You know what? A really positive comment there coming through from Boss War Eagle. What's happening in Australia and New Zealand for the World Game is vitally important for the survival. And they're saying, well done, keep it up. Which is great. When we speak of that, we've got a number of gentlemen getting ready with the darts competition behind us. 180! The Gorillas, the home of whoever. I don't know what the sporting organisation here in the dart.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
I love it. Michael Anderson on the mat, sending the bowl, resting just short of Jack High. Matt Phillips. Look, yes, a 23-shot scoreline with our final end. I will very shortly have a quick chat to our skippers. So very shortly, Spearsy, I am going to get you to go solo, and I'm sure that you've got the L plates off now. And then following that, viewers, I believe that we still may try and bring you the middle rink, but we'll correct on that. But they have sped up their play. They're still 4 ends behind us. But viewers, we will try and bring to you the next rink as we see Michael Anderson trailing. Matt Phillips looking for correction. Picture of concentration. Well done to the front end. I'm really struggling today with the best end. I think we've got enough hot shots for the day, but because it's been such an open game in the context of the game, we might struggle with the best ender.
I think so.
For today's round. A number of them have been fairly open. So, viewers, I'm actually going to take back what I said. I'm going to stay with 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏. Not that he needs to hold his hand, but with the camera set up, we won't be able to talk to the skippers, although I'd love to speak to Ryan Burnett about the multiple facial expressions. All he could say is, what can I say? Just watch the coverage. Rod. Game's gone. Looks like it probably will be a 9-1 win to the Gorillas.
Yes.
Which will put them on 20 points, which will get them into 4th place after 3 rounds. Viewers, if you have seen any other games on BowlsLink, if you could let us know the results, that would be really helpful. We do know that the Marylands East Maitland game has completed, but if you could let us know of any other matches, I can look myself, and I will do that, but we're just trying to keep our eyes on the attention. Rod Rucco, with his final turn. Might not be the final turn. We've got a destroyed end. Viewers, the rate we're going, this might be the final rink left on the green. Corey's looking quite relaxed for a Sunday. If you could do me a favour and have a look, are the Bunnies playing today?
No, they played last night.
And what was the result?
Oh, unlucky, 24-18.
Against?
Cowboys.
Ah. What are the games on today in NRL?
I'm not 100%.
You don't care because the Mighty Dragons won.
They already won. They beat the Titans. It's all right.
Now, you let me know, viewers. Who are you watching today in the rugby league? Look, we're talking about lawn bowls at the moment. And Pseudo's troll, mate. He's really trying not to get a Christmas card. His son Spears has been saved from the solo commentary. And yeah, Dasbo99, we've mentioned that Gary Kelly did win the Adelaide Masters. Wow. The Scorchers, who are winless, lost by 4 against the Bull Ants at home. I did speak to the 𝗥𝗡 in my post-match commentary. He said, we're on our home deck. Hopefully we can give the Bull Ants, and they have been their, not their dummy team, but their spoiler. So the Scorchers almost spoiled the Bull Ants. I'm not too sure if it was a 9-1 or an 8-2.
8-2, never know.
But 4 shots in it. But we were trying to see who our NRL sides were, but you're going on to BowlsLink. So we'll get you to do that. That's more important, as Matt Phillips just gets a slight...
8-2.
Ah. If you could let me know which rink perhaps was the difference there.
That would be Aaron Wilson's drink. 29-10 he got up.
Over the 𝗥𝗡.
Yeah.
Wow. Matt Flapper turned around the result against Nick Cahill, and he was outstanding on Friday. And the Jackaroo, Carl Healy's mob, also over Christopher Rosan's.
Yep.
How good is lawn bowls?
Unpredictable.
Our defending champs almost got rolled. Matty Phillips, positive bowl, asking it to drop. Does get to a good home, though. Craig Roberts. It should be our final end, viewers. Shane Edwards is pretty tired. He's sitting there in the background on the rink. It's been 3 matches. But very few of our players today, 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗏, are full-time bowlers, unless they're a greenkeeper and doing different things.
Yeah. Very few.
Oh, pseudo-trial coming from the Canberra side. How good was Ricky Stewart's men last night? Look, I do like the green machine. I'm a Bears fan, so look, go the Storm because that's the feeding club, but I don't want the Storm to do that well. Well, I actually do want them to do well, so they'll leave the Bears alone. We lost to the Jets in the grand final. Well, it's not First Division, but that's what we can tell you, viewers. But
Yep.
Craig Roberts sending it away. Look, I'm a major fan of bowls. If you look in the background there, Harley McDonald and Aaron T sitting down, taking a rest as well. Looking to change it up, perhaps, to get that jack just tucked around. Great home again. So, viewers, looking at the round 2 ladder, the Wenty Magpies, 1 win, 1 loss. They were in 6th. The Koalas were in 7th. The Saints were in 8th. The Jets in 9th. The Mount Lewis Lions in 10th. And the Belrose Bulls in 11th. And the Tarrant Point in 12th. That was from round 2. Obviously, that's going to change. Our round 3 matchups are all underway and will all finish around, well, they should all be almost all finished. There's be lots of replay there from Rod. Great line. Nice second shot. The youngster, Travis Moran. Probably looking to sit a foot behind. Now, we saw Corey swerve at the knees then. Obviously asking to drop a little bit.
Wanted him to get down a little bit, yep.
A lot of these idiosyncrasies they just happen.
Yep.
Leighton Hewitt, come on! You know, all of those things. Dennis Lilly, many years ago, and don't ask who Dennis Lilly is, mate, he's a cricketer.
Cricketer, I know.
Used to wipe the sweat from his forehead with his index finger and flick it off. We've also had a couple of other players give out the bird. The one finger salute. I can't believe it, but if I'm looking what I'm reading, St John's Park at home, 44, Engadine 76.
Ooh.
If that's correct. So yes, viewers, Storm versus Warriors, Knights versus the West Tigers. What a bowl from Rod. Nice replay. Shane Edwards, bowl's on its way. Looking just to get around that front bowl of Craig Roberts. Finishing a good home. Well done. And look, to the credit of the Koalas, they've tried to stay in it. Regardless of what the score is, the game's gone, but they're just trying to maybe get some good form coming into the weekend off.
Never say never.
Well, at 67-44, I'm saying never with 6 end to play. Jets 51, Belrose 45 after 55. That's a great effort from the Belrose Bulls.
Jets first win.
And it will be the Jets' first win. Who are you getting for the spoon? Not in Platinum Pennant, TAB Platinum Pennant, but NRL.
It's a hard one. I reckon Manly now.
Oh, I understand that. But the Dolphins?
No.
Warriors?
Eels.
Eels.
After last night's performance, Eels.
You know what? Seeing that bowl pull up short from Corey. Our final bowl of the match. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to try and stream that middle rink if we can. Ryan Burnett shaking hands. Lands that front bowl. Did they end up with 1 or 2?
2. Pretty sure it's 2.
And that's the great sportsmanship. 2 shots to the Koalas. A resounding victory to the Gorillas. Final thoughts of what we just witnessed? Convincing.
Well dominant by Warilla Gorillas, but well played by Carlingford as well.
Front end for the Gorillas, led by their marquee Michael Anderson. He set a great platform for Craig Roberts.
Yeah, it helps with a good lead.
And
Definitely
then
does.
Travis Moran, very solid leading into the New South Wales singles. So good luck if you're meeting him in Marimbula.
His draw shots were amazing.
And Corey, when he needed to be, world number 2, was significant. Probably switched off the last 2 ends. Expected, he's human.
Yeah. Oh.
He still was there, engaged with his players.
Yeah.
But a couple of his last shots, probably not so Corey Wedlock-like, but, when you're up ahead, he maybe did take the foot off the throat at that time. But reflection, as we still keep our stream going, we are going to be looking at 4 ends to go in the Tees-Morrison match. Anderson Kelly, 2 of our internationals. Well, they all do call Australia home. And ladies and gentlemen, we can't do it without our sponsors or our volunteers. Are you ready for a holiday in every way with Royal Caribbean? As Friends of Bowls New South Wales, Royal Caribbean is proud to present members with an exclusive member offer. Whether you're looking for a chill-filled short getaway or a long adventure to New Zealand or the South Pacific with the whole family, Royal Caribbean offers escapes for everyone. Even better, you unpack once and all your main meals, live entertainment, adults-only solarium, and most onboard activities are included. So book your cruise holiday now and get up to an additional $100 off existing promotions when you use the Bowls code. Bowls New South Wales. Visit the link in the bio for more information and conditions apply. Magpies, 59. Lions, 49. Thank you for the updates, Boss War Eagle. Go Warilla. Thank you, everyone. We aren't going to suspend our commentary at the moment. Our camera crew are just trying to listen to our producer, Jay, about how we do bring you some shots. We actually can't take our cameras off the tripod. Rink win for Morrison's gone. However, momentum leading into round 4, all important. So if we do, viewers, you can bring up the player list from the Platinum Pennant Hub. I will actually bring up the list myself so we can talk about who we're talking about. All right, viewers, I've just had to have a drink. Give us a rating. Spearsy, out of 10. What do you reckon? His commentary, his knowledge, his good looks, his voice. He's got a 2-year-old, remember, so be kind to us. Dragons got up, so what are we looking at here on the screen? Who have we got the leads at the moment for the Gorillas? We've got Des Can versus Nathan Malloy. Do you know much about, Des? What's his background?
I don't know much about Des, sorry. He's only new to me. So I've heard about him, but I haven't.
Been playing here long himself, or has he come from you recruited from another club?
Another club. Okay. He's our fly-in, so...
Okay. Marquee player, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Marquee player.
But where is he actually coming from?
Paradise Point.
Okay.
Queensland. So, yeah.
I have played at Paradise Point. They also have another indoor green.
Do they?
Beautiful. Really good club up the Gold Coast. So, of course, Pseudo-Troll gets on really quickly. I've already stated my facts about him, that you love him. Get him out of commentary and onto the green. Well, look, I'm sorry. There ain't going to be any changes to the Warilla Gorillas after today's performance, so you might have to wait again. Thank you for your feedback, everyone, in comments. I really enjoy that.
Thank you, Damien, for that.
And look, Boss War Eagle has said, sure, the score of 33-12, but it was a quality match. There wasn't that intensity of nail-biting who's going to win it.
Yep.
But still, as a fan of lawn bowls as a sport, I appreciate it. So we're now looking at our seconds, Kyle Johannes and Zach Robertson. Anything on Kyle? Brittany?
Oh, I went through juniors with Kyle. He's an ex-Warilla junior.
Okay.
Yeah, he's come from Corrimal over to Warilla, so he's actually joined the club.
And first bowler to be playing with Drake's Pride. We haven't had a Drake's Pride bowler on the screen.
He's got premiers.
Okay, so premiers. So someone's using Drake's Prides out there. And what about our Kyle? Done well. And using the clean skin premiers. So I would say Zach Robertson has got the Drake's Prides.
I think so.
Okay, so our thirds, Harley McDonald, bang. My lead in my pairs, and look, I'm got the DY Swans. We're in the major pairs final. If Rye Berry is excited, if I put my bowl hand up, I can't bowl for 3 ends. So I normally go for the left hand when I go for high five. Have you heard anyone smash your hand to think, thanks for that, I can't bowl now?
Nope.
No one's a keen high fiver?
Because I'm that person giving the high five.
Oh.
Like that.
Well, spare a thought for the high five, because I generally got to lead with the left hand with Rye. That was 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗡𝗏. No stranger to playing a lot of bowls with Omar.
Exactly.
When they were at Edelong.
Yep.
It's great to see 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗏 come from Edelong over to Carlingford for the Platinum season. And this is what I find interesting when I see the personnel as Harley sends down a weighted bowl. And guess who tackled him?
He's
Kyle.
Player.
Kyle Johannes' short bowl. That's all right. It's out of the way now. I had the pleasure of playing Harley McDonald in the Turn of the Year singles semi-final last year. I wish he didn't turn up, because he played against another fella named Jack McShane in the final.
That would have been an interesting game.
It was. I was 5-0 against Harley, and I lost the game to 18-7.
Oh, wow.
He just put on a show. I didn't play too bad. That was on the Happy Bowler live feed.
Okay.
So Turn of the Year, always a significant tournament. And there's also another one down South Coast, I believe, or the Southern Way. Isn't there? Is the South Pacific Championships as well?
Yeah, here.
Around Easter? Not Easter. Around Christmas.
Christmas time, yeah. That's here.
There's Harley. Thank you, Harley, for letting us be able to see the Jack. Drawing the applause of your skipper. Look, the end of 18, 8 shots to get, not over for a rink win.
No, not at all.
But with a player of Teesy's strength, Darren Morrison, who we know is no stranger to playing in big tournaments and getting great results, playing actually with 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗏𝗏, they are the 2 times BPL champions of the, if you play through your clubs.
Yep.
They come through, and I believe they were.
They won it again this year.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay.
So Darren Morrison, 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗏𝗏 can play.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy on the backhand. And looking for the bowl to fall over. So viewers, excuse us if we are struggling just a little bit to pick up who's got shot. But thank you, Jen Lynn. Harley, also an ex-Edelong junior. So the Central Coast has been the home for producing some wonderful bowls.
Yep. Wonderful bowls, and it's a beautiful place up there.
As was Nathan, his lead in the BPL. So there you go. Andrew Hinch in comments. Greetings from South Africa. Sinsna. I'm not even going to try that again. Okay, thank you, Trace. Paradise Point. It is a indoor green, not an. It's undercover.
Not indoor green.
But it's an undercover green.
Yep.
Desmond Angel, TZ. Do you know Desmond?
No.
Big fan of TZ. So keep those comments going. I hope you're appreciating. And viewers, you haven't dropped off. We've still got over 500 watching. Our cameras aren't in the best position, but Space Quakes. Oh, teasy. Finger in the ear of 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗨𝗡. What is that all about? Do they share rooms when they go away?
I think so.
What is going on? A bit of man love going on there. 2 ends to play. 7 shots. The Koalas need at least a 4. Although there is a maximum of 8.
Yeah, that's a hard ask for the quality players there, but, you know, it's
up to the Koalas to make sure that they're present and they've got bowls at the back, unless we're looking at a Jack rebounding forward. Good start there from 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗨𝗡. Des Kane. 3 days in, 3 rounds. About a yard through. Good positional bowl in the catching area. Well, viewers, as we're watching Nathan send down the second of his 2, don't forget to look up on Instagram if you're in that way inclined on the socials at the handle @BowlsNSW, or particularly all of our information that we're releasing through hot shots and best ends and tipping competitions and photos and so forth. Get onto Facebook at Bowls New South Wales. And clearly, if you're watching us, you've found the home of our broadcast only on Bowls New South Wales YouTube. Thank you to the TAB Platinum Pennant. And yes, viewers, you've mentioned that you'd like to perhaps see if we could maybe get a bit of a punt going on and gamble responsibly. But yes, Pseudo Troll, the old wet willy, as we're looking at a replay. I like that gorilla motif. Building the head. That is Zach Robertson. Viewers, if you've got any information about Zach Robertson, that would be appreciative. I think after Easter, I'm going to do homework on all 24 players that I'm going to be watching. Hence, we've got the opportunity to go to another rink to stream that.
Zach's from 𝗟𝗏𝗡 too.
Well, there you go.
I went through juniors with Zach, and he's a very nice guy.
Playing the forehand. And I can tell you, at the moment, besides this bowl, all of the koala bowls were behind the head. And it has landed in a great home. Where we are positioned, viewers, we are obviously at the side, halfway point. Kyle asking for how much more do I need? Looking at his delivery, his left hand was on his knee, not supporting his weight, but all about his stance, very open stance, looking for his own. Well, he's done well there in his position. Aaron, not surprised to see the thirds keeping the skips company at this level?
Yeah, gives them an insight of all the bowls come up and look at the head before they go play their own. So yeah, not a surprise at all.
A fair bit of play movement for the Carlingford Koalas this year.
Yes, a lot.
I believe they've shifted from some people they perhaps struggled to understand at the back end of their teams. They had a lot of international flavour last year. Probably gone from not local, but homegrown New South Welshmen, particularly taking a couple of people from the Central Coast.
Yeah, from Zone 15, taking them all from there.
Which is what's called now. Zone 15 is?
I can't remember.
We'll have to have a look at the map, perhaps. There are 16 new regions.
New regions, yeah.
One person who loves his bowls is 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗨𝗡. Darren Morrison asking for a draw. Doesn't have to orchestrate the miracle at the moment. There are 7 shots down with the penultimate end being played. 𝗟𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 proving that lawn bowls is very physically taxing with that left knee heavily strapped. Bit of a knee brace. Another lovely fella of lawn bowls. The duo. What is the position there? They haven't given us much indication of who's holding.
Looks like 4 to me.
4 shots?
Looks like 4 to me.
The Koalas?
Yes.
Okay. Question for you, Spearsy.
Yep.
Kyle Johannes, son of Eric?
Eric, yep.
There you go. Jen Lynn, thank you. And well done, Dasbo. Questions been asked by our comments and our viewers then helping answer those questions. So keep that going. I really do enjoy, yes, we are watching a stream on YouTube. I'm a big fan of watching bowls on television, but I also love listening to the ABC and the broadcasters who bring us the action on radio. And so for me, at the moment, after 3 rounds, I love my role working with a guest commentator like yourself, coming from obviously one of the sides, the Warilla Gorillas, but bringing an insight viewers into trying to be interactive with you as fans of lawn bowls. So I don't have a mobile phone that you can text me. Oh, I do, but I can't give out my personal number. But thank you for being interactive and being patient. Look, this is our 3rd round, my 3rd time commentating with Space Quest Productions. We've got a great team helping us and purely passionate people as Darren Morrison gets another shot in. So, Spearsy, talk to me. Teasy, going to make some connection.
You'd think so on the forehand.
Solid. Controlled weight. Count it up.
93.
So when you see that with a player, and we're looking at a replay there, a player of Teasy's experience, does Morrison go, you know what, I'm going to try and put one on the centre line, I'm going to try and protect this 3 that I've got, or does he put another one in there and then go, look, Teasy, if you're good enough?
I'll put one in there. You got to make shots. You're chasing, so...
Okay, Zone 15, the Central Coast region. Jen Lynn, you're my most valuable player on the live stream comments. Thanks very much. Not far off, I can tell you, pseudo-troll. But look, we didn't get a chance as Teasy comes through. We'll just see what he does. It's on its way. Backhand. Love the orange with the yellow squibble. Reaching weight. Dead draw, sit and stay, holes for bowls.
3. Going into the last end.
Okay. You know what? Give him another 9 bowls out of the 10. Does he make that shot?
100%.
Okay.
Can't give him too many opportunities.
So we did say 4, then 3. They've now gone 3/4. Teasy has last bowl. What's the result of his last bowl? Does he draw for 1?
Depending on the head.
Okay.
If
I'm
he's
trying to
holding
get
or
you to
not.
crystal ball it. He's not going to go for the kill, is he? Unless they're 4 down. Doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to.
But he does want the rink point.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Great start.
It's a good start.
Does look like an Optima being used there by Nathan. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗡, marquee player for the Gorillas. There's a good look at him. And I have to laugh. I've got one of his teammates next to me. He says, I got no idea about him. I love it. But you're being honest, and that's what it's all about. I wasn't expecting to do any homework on 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗡. Paradise Point. They love him up there. He obviously enjoyed Queensland Premier League. I know they didn't win it because the Burleigh Dragons got up. And that was Sean Baker telling me all about that. They destroyed Algester in the final. Great set.
Good
Nathan
goals.
Malloy.
Awesome.
Mum or Dad, if you're watching, make sure you give that to him in the highlight reel. The only problem is he's put the goalpost up. I would have thought Des would have been instructed by Teasy, change it up.
Oh, I don't know.
And you know what? That ain't a good home where that's finished. Right on the centre line. So if I were the Carlingford Koalas, they're going to try and draw to the centre line to try and keep the back end of the Gorillas at bay. What has second 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗏 got with those Drake's Prides?
Put a handy bowl at the back.
Time for 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗏 to step up, get those Green Masters talking, land the Jack High bowl, which is on the left of screen. He's a little high. Still a bowl that can be in play, and we mentioned this before with our coverage. A kill's a kill, a den's and dead. There is no respot today. Good on you, boss War Eagle. Based in the US. And wish that we'd market to the US. Well, look, the World Game, I think Bowls New South Wales is all over it, and Bowls Australia. And as you mentioned, Bowls Australia and New Zealand, as you look at 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗏 making a change, lands it, plants it. Well done. One shot, young man.
What a great bowl.
Talk about a hot shot. We got to write that down. We got to change what you write down and say on the other rink. Your pen still working, my friend?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, there. Just put up the top rink 6. Made it extremely difficult for 𝗣𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗏, the third, to do something here. Looking like he's lining up on the backhand. I believe he's using the Optima. I don't think he'll be using the Dynamic as a third. Turns his back on it. Doesn't like it. For me, Spearsy, as a second, he's turned his back on the bowl. Do you ever turn your back on the bowl regardless of what you've done to it?
Well, you know what you've done, so...
But do you watch it to go, hey, am I going to learn anything from it? Or do you just go, disgust, put it away, bowl in hand, next shot?
Put it in the back of your head.
Okay. Harley, also on the back end. To mine, I think he's using XGs, clean-skinned.
Yes.
Without any grip. Or maybe he's got the little dimples on them.
I'm not sure about that one.
So Lee, very focused on his line. His weight was pretty good. Searching. A little high with that weight. Darren Morrison asking for a bowl to come through and just sit it. Well, we have been spoilt for choice, viewers. Not only one live rink streamed, 2. And if Kevin Anderson and Kelly put on a show and started to kill some ends, we could have had 3. That'd be pretty much asking Space Quakes Production to put on a show. Harley on its way, looking to sit and stay. That bowl of his second has flopped out. It is 1 down to the Gorillas, but it's not 4.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. And it's all about changing things up too. Not necessarily your job as a lead is to get bowls close. The second is to obviously try and complement the lead if they haven't made it.
Yep.
But what's the job as a third? Follow the skipper's advice.
Pretty much just follow and do as you're told and pick up bowls for your lead and second.
And kick bowls back.
And kick bowls back. And call the head when you need
Geez,
to.
I was asking for an intelligent answer, but it wasn't real intelligent question,
no.
just quietly, Spearsy. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, mate, but yeah, you gave me the answer I needed. Darren Morrison, just pulling up the shirt. It means he might be going big. No. Geez, he threw me a bit of a dummy. He pulled the sleeve up to think, what's he going to deliver? He's looking at a bowl with draw weight. He's gone over to rink 1 to look at where it's going from. Lands it. Well done, young man. And he'd probably like that being called young. 2?
2.
He needs 4 for the draw. And yes, viewers, we don't go to an extra end. A draw is a draw. And they share half a point. Teasy. Following his bowl down. Significant draw weight. Up and over. Harley was calling up, up, up. 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗡𝗏.
Only one.
Only one. Not sure why Darren Morrison hasn't come to the head. Relying on Lee, giving him all the instruction. He said, hit this, do that, do this. Lee is calling Darren to the head. You can see from Darren's sunglass marks that he's been a bit outdoors a bit. If you do go onto the Bowls New South Wales website, you can pick up all the information about who our sponsors are and the SunSmart champions we had from Bowls New South Wales. But viewers, thank you for joining us today. We're looking at a 68-53 difference with one end to play. We know that it does currently look like a 9-1 result with Darren Morrison, two-time BPL team champions. I don't know exactly their title, but they've done very well. Darren Morrison in the area. Just needed to be slightly higher. And if he made a connection on that jack, he could have fed it through for 4. Aaron Tees could put this bowl in his pocket, but what's he going to do? Does he want the shot?
Well, let's make 3 out of this.
So, are we looking for the split of those 2 bowls?
No, we're looking for sit on the back one, flop off, and make a toucher and make 3.
Let's see what he does.
That's what he's playing.
Stays down. The energy. He's close. Close as. Ladies and gentlemen. Spearsy, don't put your pen down. Hot shot to conclude our coverage. Brilliant. Bang, bang, plants. Reaction to Teasy. Talking. Shaken. Like it. Well, look, viewers, I am going to try and get an interview with our skips from our first match. So I'm going to press the mute button. Spearsy, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. The viewers on the live feed, particularly 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗏, wants to see you. I imagine we're going to see you maybe in round 10, just to blood you. But what's on for the rest of the day? A bit of a feed, go and play with your son.
Yep. I got a 2-year-old's birthday party to go to. So that's always fun.
Mate,
thank you very much.
All right, we're going to try and have a chat to the skips. We'll talk to you in a sec. Don't go away. We're going to hear from Corey Wedlock and Ryan Burnett just to wrap it up. Want me to be in the middle? Yep.
One chat here.
Yep.
And one chat there, where each shot only has 2 viewings. So
Okay. I was going to ask 2 questions of Ryan. Is that okay before I ask 2 questions of Ryan? All right. And I'll then send Ryan on his way, and then I'll interview Corey. Is that okay? All right. Does he like to drink? All right.
Who told you that?
Come here, mate. Yeah. Well, viewers at home, welcome to Bowls New South Wales YouTube, and I've got the skippers with me from our first live stream rink, and I've got Ryan Burnett here. How was that today?
Well, look, mate, I've definitely had better Sundays. Let's just say that. Obviously, Warilla is a class outfit, one of the best outfits in bowls all around the world, and on their own carpet, they're a fantastic team. I don't think we were at our best. They played good. We didn't get many breaks either. And against guys like this, you need a little bit of luck on your side. But yeah, well done to Corey and his team. They were absolutely fantastic. Warilla is a class outfit, and we all know they're going to be up there at the end. So yeah, I've definitely had better Sundays, but oh well.
I loved watching your facial expressions, and you brought a lot of energy to what was bringing up. Tell me, you're 1 from 3. We've got an Easter break, and then we've got a doubleheader at the Easter weekend. What do we do in the next fortnight?
Probably practice, and I think I speak on behalf of a lot of them. We've got to practice. We've got to start just up on our levels. Even though we won the first game all through the weekend, the levels probably haven't been high enough to compete at this against the big boys. So we need to go out and probably play over the next 2 weeks, practice, dig in, regroup as a group, and yeah, just see what happens, mate.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Good on you. See you soon. I've got the 2 times, well, number 2 in the world, Corey Wedlock. Viewpoint on today?
Yeah, no, it was obviously it was good to get the win. It's been a great weekend for us, so a very good start for the boys, and yeah, something we can build on. So it was good to get a rink win too. We've been stiff the first couple of nights, but yeah, so it was good to get a win.
2 questions, totally off lawn bowls. The Rabbits, have they got to chime into a bit of guerrilla action to try and get up?
Yeah, no, it was no good this weekend, but yeah, we've got a lot of injuries out at the moment. But yeah, I'm hoping that if we can make the 8, you never know what's going to happen.
Moving forward, runners-up of Platinum from 2024 Season 1. You got your rink win up. Momentum's moving in the right direction. What do we do for the next fortnight?
Yeah, obviously a great start for us lads. We've got a few new players in the team, so just trying to build them combinations. Obviously, and yeah, use that loss last year as motivation for this year for sure. Yeah, as I think we're hungrier than ever to definitely try and get the win. But yeah, it's only early, so we've just got to take every game as it comes. Obviously, it's one of the best competitions in the world. So yeah, just take each game as it comes, and hopefully be in the mix at the end.
I was going to ask no more questions, but we forgot to mention most valuable player. In your perspective, we've got the mighty mascot coming through. Who was your most valuable player besides yourself in the front end? You're all very good.
Yeah, no, all 3 of my players played really good then. I thought Craig was outstanding, the second.
I agree with you.
Yeah, he changed a lot of heads over, and yeah, he's been playing awesome too. But yeah, obviously...
as a unit, you played brilliantly, but yeah. I thought Craig in particular. Michael was very close as one of your marquee players, but an ex-rugby league hooker who got injured with the knee. I'm so glad that he's come to us. But tell me, look, as a world-class bowler, what do you love about lawn bowls?
I just like the camaraderie between everyone. Like, as you said, Ryan said then, some of the best players in the world, and they're just really good people too, which makes our sport so great. Yeah, a lot of good people in our sport, and that's what keeps you coming back, I suppose.
I'm going to let you go. As a big fan of lawn bowls, thank you for having us at the home of the Gorillas, and we'll see you and wish you well for the rest of the season. Well, look, viewers at home, I'm spoilt for choice. As a fan of lawn bowls, I've just spoken to world number 2, Corey Wedlock, to shed a bit of an insight. Round 3, make sure you check the TAB Platinum Pennant Hub for all the results. Wonderful to be here at the home of the Warilla Gorillas here in the jungle. We've seen a match-up 9-1 of the Gorillas over the Koalas. I wonder what's going to happen over the next fortnight. We'll bring you round 4. Check off, the hub for all the details. Matty Harris signing off on behalf of Aaron Spears. It's been a great Sunday. I hope you enjoy your afternoon, and we'll see you soon.